Yo, welcome to the third episode of the Morbid Hour live stream here on the Horror Metal channel, featuring myself, Sean Erschen, and Horror Fan 88. Got a lot of great stuff to talk about today, so we go and send the invite to the other two members of the Morbid Hour. Let's see. All right, I've sent the invite, so just waiting for Sean Erschen and Horror Fan 88. Necessary Distraction is in the chat. Welcome to the show. It's going to be a good time.
What up, guys?
What's going on, brother?
How's it going?
Mm-hmm.
Ready for episode 3?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Very excited. Death Metal Elitist is in the chat. How's it going, buddy?
Already somebody in there?
Yeah, I got Necessary Distraction and Death Metal Elitist in the chat, as well as another person who hasn't introduced themselves yet.
Death Metal.
Yeah. Are you able to see the chat?
Yeah, because I'm watching on YouTube. I only seem to see it when I watch on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I never see it from here for some reason.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I know I can. It's more of a pain in the ass when I'm doing it from my phone.
Yeah. Death Metal Elitist says the Megadeth show was kick-ass. Yeah, I bet it was. I was supposed to go see them. Yeah. I was supposed to go see them, but then the show got canceled because of the pandemic. But hopefully I'll get another chance soon. Big K says The Evil Dead's in his top 5 horror films, right there, Friday 13th Part 4, Alien, and Jaws.
Nice.
Excellent choices. And it looks like Horror Fan 88 is here.
Hello.
All right.
Yo, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's up? Always letting the hair flow.
Hell yeah. Looks awesome. Very
nice. What you got there? Mayhem? Is that Mayhem?
Yep.
Nice.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
I'm excited to talk some Megadeth.
Yeah, same here. So you guys want to start with talk about the Evil Dead movies, and then we'll go into we'll talk about the original trilogy, I guess the remake if you guys want, and then maybe our favorite film, and then our thoughts on the upcoming film, and then we'll go into our favorite John Carpenter films, or maybe our top 5, and maybe some honorable mentions, and we'll do our top 5 favorite underrated 80s horror gems, like the really obscure, overlooked stuff that people don't talk about as much. And then we'll go into Megadeth's discography. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Hell yeah. James Moss. How's it going,
hey, James? Horror Fan 88, very impressed by your collection there.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Oh, shit, that's like every John Carpenter movie, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Except maybe Elvis. I don't think I see Elvis in there.
I don't have Elvis or that Memoirs of an Invisible Man. I don't.
Oh, yeah, Chevy Chase.
I don't have either of those either. I got just about all those other ones, man. I don't have Ghosts of Mars or the Ward. Sorry, either. I just put out my 5 favorites though for this video because I already have a bunch of other things over here.
Yeah.
We'll get to here in a minute.
I don't think Memoirs will be in my underrated 80s hard gems.
Yeah, me
But you never know. It could be one of your guys' picks.
Yeah.
possibly.
I just watched it this morning. What a weird
Nice.
time to watch a horror movie, huh?
Love it. The Evil Dead. We all got the same copy.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the THX. This is actually an upgrade for me. I had a really crappy one before.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I still own all of these on VHS too. So.
Wow, nice. The clamshell.
Oh yeah.
Same
I
here.
got nice.
This is the original release
Love
Wow.
that.
for an EMI with clamshell. At least I think so. Pretty sure it was the first release there ever was.
I love the original poster art.
Yeah, me too.
Just the hand coming out. Grave.
And of course, you can't forget the classic Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
So, I got all these on clamshell. Nice.
I don't have any VHS anymore. I gave them
Oh,
all
really?
away like a dummy.
Most of mine got destroyed when my basement flooded several years ago, but I rebought most of them because, I'm weird. And once I own something, I want to own it forever. I'm like a pack rat, I guess.
I ain't about to do that. I don't have the money to buy
Yeah.
them all.
Yeah. Well, I found them at like cheap, like thrift stores and like video stores that went out of business and stuff. They were selling them for really, really cheap. So, so yeah, I wouldn't spend like a whole lot of money on VHS tapes. That's that'd be cool to have.
Yeah. This is an interesting one I have for Army of Darkness. Director's
Oh
cut.
yes, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, I don't have that one.
Pretty cool.
Ash looks jacked there. Huh?
Yeah.
It does.
This poster has always kind of reminded me of like He-Man.
Yeah.
Like
Like
lifts his
Conan.
chainsaw in the air by the power of the Necronomicon.
Well, then, what they call it in the original Naturum de Manto? Or
Naturum de Manto,
It
yeah.
had a different name.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that weird? Before they went with the H.P. Lovecraft Necronomicon.
Yes. What do you call that? I don't know if there's a name. The dagger he has with the skull.
Kandarian dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is awesome. That'd be a cool prop to own, honestly.
Yeah, hell yeah. That would be awesome.
So since the Evil Dead is like one of my top franchises, and I own a lot of copies, the one I still really want is the Book of the Dead edition. I just don't have that one.
And this one?
That one right there. Yep.
He's got it, yeah.
The thing is so cool too, because like it even looks like the actual book, and you can easily translate the text in it. Like this right here says, "Dedicated to those who bled for the evil dead and their families and friends." I think families and dead fanatics. And then this says, "I can draw skulls."
That is cool.
Nice.
Yeah. It was actually the first, one of the very first DVDs I ever got. It was the very first time I owned Evil Dead on DVD. I already had it on VHS, of course, but this is the first time I owned it on DVD. Was this release?
So it has a few of the pages, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, raw, medium, well done.
That's Anchor Bay too, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's the exact same DVD as this one. Has all the same features and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like identical.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Anchor Bay back in the day, they put out some excellent releases.
They did. they did the early Blu-rays of it too, of the Evil Dead.
Yes, I agree. It has an ear on the back of it.
Awesome. Yeah, I believe the Evil Dead 2 Book of the Dead had like the screaming eye. Like
Yeah,
press
it's behind it screams. Yeah, I didn't buy that when it came out stupidly. I wish I had now. I'm still kicking myself for that, but I mean to get it eventually. I ordered it from eBay or something. Yeah, I really should have bought that. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, just watching it again today, the original movie. I just love it. I mean, it's so great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it, like the way Sam Raimi's direction, so groundbreaking,
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's very creative and memorable, like you said, and it's scary and gory. Hardly any movies are able to balance those two, I think. And The Evil Dead, the original, definitely pulls it off.
Yeah, true.
Balances out the gore and the scares.
And the atmosphere and the camera work is what I really love.
Mm-hmm.
Like going through the woods, camera going through woods, roll, knocking trees down,
yeah,
knocking the doors down.
Sometimes you can see like vines like hitting the camera and stuff.
Yeah,
like tree branches. I mean,
yeah, and me being a horror fan pretty much my entire life, no horror movie ever really terrified me, but the original Evil Dead definitely creeped me out when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, it's got some genuinely unsettling scenes for sure.
Yeah,
some really creepy parts, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Got the old VHS at like a thrift shop. It was the VHS that had Ash on the cover with like the axe over his shoulder and the shotgun. And I watched it. It creeped me out. I've always just loved that shot of Deadite Cheryl in the cellar just freaking out. Like, ah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I love when there's still a few funny parts still, like when they go over the bridge and like the tires caught and he's like looking over. Like,
yeah.
Like
yeah. And you can't forget what happened to her eyes. What happened to her eyes? She's just floating in the air.
I think Spider-Man that Sam Raimi also directed paid homage to that when Aunt May says, "Those horrible yellow eyes." I always assumed that was a reference to Evil Dead, but who knows? I love the end when the possessed bodies of Cheryl and Scotty rapidly decompose into goo and like it's like claymation effects. I always thought that was awesome. I used to rewind that over and over and over on the VHS tape I had when I was much younger.
It's awesome. Yeah, you can tell a whole lot of hard work went into the original Evil Dead. Took years to film, kept running out of money. They worked with what they had. And
they didn't have much of a budget.
Very low budget, but I think it kind of worked to the movie's advantage.
Definitely. And I know a lot of the practical effects are very dated, but I don't know, something about them just kind of add to the charm of it from the time. I just really dig it. Like you can see blood tubes and stuff and freaking peeling off fingers, but it adds to it, I think.
Yeah, you can almost see zippers in the costumes. It's that primitive, but I still love it.
It's the creativity of it that I like.
Yeah.
What went into it, how they could use what they had to work, what they had to work with,
Yeah, and I think some of the actors even left. Some of the actors even left the production, like when they weren't finished shooting, they had to like just use random people to finish, like under all the makeup and costumes and stuff, like the possessed people. Like I don't even think it was Ellen Sandweiss and Richard DeManicore, aka Hal Delrick. I don't even think it was them anymore. Like,
oh yeah,
maybe not Betsy Baker either. I don't know.
Yeah, And you can tell there is a ton of metal bands that love the Evil Dead movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just listen to any random thing, all of a sudden you hear like an Evil Dead sound clip in there. So.
Yeah. As they should.
Yep. Deicide's Dead by Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Doesn't Possessed have a song about Evil Dead also, or
I believe so.
or
So does Death, don't they? Death.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
On Scream Bloody Gore, isn't it? Isn't that song Evil Dead?
You know they had the Phantasm music on one of their songs.
Oh yeah. Entombed, wasn't it? Entombed, Left Hand Path.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And I know, the singer, the old singer of Mayhem, dead. His previous band, Morbid, they had an EP come out, and one of the songs started off with screaming demonic Cheryl, and then it kicked into the music. So
was it December Moon? Was it that
Yeah.
EP? I want that so bad.
Yes.
I want the EP so bad. And the vocalist of Entombed, who died last year, or the year before, sometime recently, he played drums for that EP. And I think they had the same guitarist from Entombed as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he had Dad from Mayhem on vocals before he joined Mayhem.
Cool. Like you said, it's a lot gorier than probably the other ones too. Like that scene where the guy axes the girl and the blood splatter on the screen. And
Yeah. I definitely agree, because there was a way the first movie, when it did with gore, was very brutal, and the second movie, although also very gory, it was more of a funny way, like the wall just shooting gallons of blood at Ash.
yeah.
You're like, what the hell?
Well, they use like green blood on one scene,
Yeah.
like a couple scenes.
Yeah.
Green blood.
Yeah, they
and
use
black
green blood to get a lower rating or whatever. It's like, really? Just changing the color makes it less gruesome, I guess.
That way it looks like slime. So
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, Full Moon 1973 is in the chat.
Is that
Welcome.
full moon?
How's it going, Full Moon?
Another thing excellent about the Evil Dead films is the sound design in it. Like
Oh yeah.
Cheryl out in the woods, and all of a sudden you hear the trees cracking and falling, and it really feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you hear the join us.
And I know as far as Evil Dead 2 goes, I know it's kind of a remake of the first one. We all know the story of it. But even this DVD copy here, on the back says Ash Williams returns to the same cabin again. I'm like, he didn't go. Yeah, on the back it says Ash returns to the same cabin again. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, what it is he actually never left. He never left the cabin. The first 7 minutes of Evil Dead 2 are a recap of the events of the Evil Dead 1. A lot of people hadn't seen Evil Dead 1, and Sam Raimi couldn't get the footage from New Line, so he just filmed like a new recap. As soon as you see the thing go through the house and then sends Ash flying through the woods and then he falls in the mud puddle, that's when the continuation begins. That's when Evil Dead 2 begins.
Yeah,
Everything before that was just a recap of the first movie, but he couldn't get the footage, and he didn't want to hire 3 other actors to play the three friends and stuff, and he didn't want to just start the movie when he's just flying through the woods, because again, a lot of people hadn't seen Evil Dead, so it would have been weird if he just started it from the thing going through the house. But it resulted in all this confusion. So so many people think it's a remake, but really it is a sequel. But he didn't return to the same cabin. I don't know why it says that on the back, but he actually never left. He actually never left the cabin. It's a direct continuation of the events of the first film.
But when you have seen the original, it's like, why'd they do that again? Like,
yeah, no,
the same stuff happening.
It's too bad they couldn't have just used the same footage. Just used a recap of archive footage from the first movie, but he wasn't allowed to do that, so he had to refilm it with that kind of odd recap.
And did you notice they did it again in Army of Darkness?
Yeah.
The beginning of Army the beginning of Army of Darkness is way different from the end of Evil Dead 2.
But they started it
So
like,
it's like,
they were
but at the end of Army of
shooting the
Darkness and the S Mart
scenes from the
ending, we
first
find out that Ash
movie
is telling the
with different
story
people.
to his friends at his work. So maybe he like had some memory issues.
Yeah, these movies are full of plot holes and inconsistencies, but you can't help but love them and just have a blast watching them.
Absolutely.
And you know, Evil Dead 2, this movie is like Halloween is here, and then here's Evil Dead 2 for me. It is so close of a race because, you know, I grew up with both of them, and
Yeah, me
Ash,
too.
they both have their own pros. You know, Michael's my favorite horror villain, but Ash is like one of, if not my favorite movie character. I just grew up thinking he was badass. So, you know.
Yeah.
Michael's my favorite horror villain, and Ash is my favorite horror hero, favorite horror protagonist. That'd be cool to see them in a movie together. Yeah. Evil Dead 2 actually is my favorite sequel of all time, my favorite horror sequel. And it actually is my favorite of the original trilogy. It's my favorite of all the Evil Dead movies, actually. It just blew me away when I first saw it. I loved how it's more, you know, it's not quite as scary or gory as the first one. But yeah, it definitely ups the humor and the entertainment factor and the action. And Ash just becomes such a badass in this movie. He's so cool. I love when he, you know, first emerges with the chainsaw on his arm and the shotgun and starts spitting one-liners and wisecracks, and he's just so freaking cool.
Plus what he goes through, everything that he survives, you know. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's cool seeing him from going from kind of a awkward, kind of geeky coward to just a badass action hero type. You know, I love that transformation. I always think that's really interesting. So this is my favorite one right here. As much as I love the original, always like Evil Dead 2 the best.
Dead by dawn.
Dead by dawn. Dead by dawn.
Yeah. Awesome.
Someone's in my fruit cellar. Someone with fresh soul.
This image here is never actually in the movie. With the severed hand strangling him, that never happens.
No.
Isn't that funny that Ted Raimi plays the Cruella, whatever her name is?
Henrietta.
Henrietta,
yeah. You know, that scream that Ash lets out when her head pops up and he just belts out this scream.
Screams like a girl. Sam Raimi told him to do that. He told him to scream like a girl, and he did.
And he did. Oh, man.
I agree with Big K. Scotty was a little more badass than Ash in part one. In the first movie, he kind of fought back against the possessed people, the Deadites, I guess, more than Ash did, at least at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but by the end, he is like full blown Ash. By the end,
he was like a final girl in the first movie.
Yeah.
He wasn't like a badass hero yet.
And you know, you can't forget. Yeah, in Evil Dead 2, the damn laughing deer head. My God.
Yeah. Everything laughs, even the bookshelf and the lamp and
the lamp.
Everything in the whole cabinet is laughing.
Yeah, and the hand too.
Yeah.
I think the lamp sounded like Popeye.
Yeah.
That's my favorite when he's like bashing stuff over his head, the plates and the rock and the he throws himself and flips himself around. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who's not watching this stream needs to join us.
Join us.
And this next one, you know, it's fun. It's more comedy, but Army of Darkness. Very much enjoy this film.
It's still a whole lot of fun though. Like, It's almost like an adventure, like a fantasy adventure movie or something.
Pretty much a straight up comedy mixed with action adventure. Not so much a
But-
horror movie, just kind of a horror backdrop, horror storyline.
Yeah. But in the middle, they randomly throw in old school style Evil Dead when he goes to the cabin on the
Yeah.
and the Evil Dead chases him through the woods. Is like a totally different movie until then.
Yeah.
He just like throws in classic style Evil Dead there.
Definitely.
1, 2
Classic.
is good, Chad.
Right
I'm
on.
going 1, 2.
He's like, yeah, I remember it. I got it. The words.
I've also got this director's cut of Army of Darkness. Yep.
Very nice. I need an upgrade.
Yeah, this is the first DVD release I had of Army of Darkness. I already had this VHS, and then I upgraded to DVD. I bought this only to find out that the S-Mart ending isn't anywhere in this DVD. This is an Easter egg or
It's
something.
not on it.
So I ended up buying this version. So I have both of them. And I need to upgrade to Blu-ray. I don't have any of the Evil Dead movies on Blu-ray yet, but that's going to change very soon.
I saw this really cool looking one that Andrew Ballin had. Like,
Oh, yeah?
awesome drawing on it. I was like, man, I need that.
I think there's a steel book of Evil Dead 2 where it's like Ash is like a skeleton from the waist down or something, and it looks really awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get that. I need to get that Ultimate Edition of Army of Darkness on Blu-ray as well.
So what's the difference on the one they call the Screwhead edition or whatever? Is there like different footage or something?
I think that has both versions, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually. This one, Screwhead Edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's a featurette and a alternate ending. So
Oh,
it says alternate ending, but I believe that's actually the original ending where he wakes up far in time.
The post-apocalyptic ending is the original ending, and the S-Mart ending was actually the theatrical ending, I guess. What is that noise?
I like that. It could be my phone. Let me check.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure if that was my laptop doing that, or I thought I was the only one who heard it.
Must have been my phone. Sorry.
That's okay.
I had the charger plugged in. That's probably why.
Yeah, this Boomstick Edition has always been one of my favorite artworks, which is awesome
Nice.
looking.
Hell yeah, I need to get that.
Has a little booklet. Join the army.
I was thinking it's funny how they show at the beginning Bruce Campbell versus.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to grab my DVD of the Ash versus Evil Dead complete series, but oh well.
I still haven't finished the series.
All 3 seasons. Yep, that's the one I have. You haven't finished it?
No, I plan to.
I wish
There's
they'd
so
bring
many
it back
shows.
for a 4th season. Yeah, I'm really far behind on shows too, but I had to make that on a top priority since Evil Dead's one of my favorite franchises, and Ash is one of my favorite characters of all time. But it did take me a while because I procrastinate a lot when it comes to TV shows.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's an extremely fun show. I think if anybody's held back watching it because it's a TV show and they think it might be watered down, it is not. This show can get disgusting as.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it can. Like that scene in the morgue.
Oh.
That was pretty out there. It's really
Yeah,
fun.
All the new characters are fun too. Kelly is a badass. Pablo's fun. Ruby can be fun. So
Yeah.
Like Lucy Lawless.
Oh,
Yeah. Sam Raimi was always a big fan of hers, I know.
Yeah,
I think
because
he
he
worked
did
on the
the Xena.
Xena, yeah, exactly.
He worked on it.
Right.
What do you
Anything else?
what are your thoughts on the difference of tone in each movie? You know how it gets
I
where
kind of
you
like
had
how
the first movie, it's kind of darker and more serious and bloody and scary, and then the second one's just wild and crazy, and then third
I kind of
one you
like that.
have
I think it makes it more interesting. You know, each entry is like its own thing. It doesn't just feel like a rehash.
Definitely. I've always talked about also the Army of Darkness original opening. I think was far too dark for the tone of the movie because it was actually dark. You know, it had the fog, it had Ash talking in distress and all that, and then it would be weird to watch that and then go watch skeletons like.
probably true.
So I
Shot
guess
smart, shot S smart when he's holding the gun. This is
Yeah.
my boomstick.
Good, bad. I'm the man with the gun.
sometimes when I'm watching these movies, I'll just say Ash's lines with them
Me
the
too.
whole time. Just,
But my favorite Ash line is from Evil Dead 2, and he's like, "I'll swallow your soul." He's like, "Swallow this." Just blows her head off.
That's awesome.
I saw it in the theater. Everybody cheered. Everybody laughed their ass off. I was like, yes.
nice.
Yes, absolutely, James Moss. They will be, I'm sure, at some point.
I hope so.
I mean, yeah, I hope so. I mean, come on, if Metallica's in there.
Yeah. I don't know, though. No Iron Maiden, no Judas Priest, so.
Yeah.
I won't hold my breath. I
That's
don't take that
criminal
thing
right
very
there.
seriously anyway. So.
Yeah, I guess we touched on that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this one I do believe I saw in theaters, and that was Evil Dead 2013.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't think it's that bad. I actually kind of like it. I guess you could view it as a sequel. I heard it was supposed to be set in the same universe. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what the makers said. That they said it's in the same universe. Yeah, there's happens to be another cabin that just happens to have another evil book that releases demons from another dimension, just setting in the basement or whatever. Who'd have thunk it? What are the odds of that? I guess it's just normal to bring evil books to cabins. I guess I don't know in this universe. Apparently, it's okay. It's okay. As far as remakes go, it's not one of the worst. But I saw it and just kind of I thought it was pretty good. Then I just kind of forgot about it. It doesn't have Bruce Campbell, so
Yeah, I know it's hard for me to get past that.
yeah, it's not really the same. But I admire their valiant effort. You know,
it's pretty well made. I can't.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That.
Yeah, and at least it wasn't
CGI in it, but oh well.
And it's really gory. It's super gory.
Yeah, it was pretty creepy too.
Also, this copy here, has the unrated version of the movie. This has like 6 extra minutes of footage and stuff that was in the trailer but wasn't in the movie. You know, like the weird's gonna get you, and there's a scene where Mia's brother cuts up a deadite with a chainsaw in the shed. That's kind of a callback to Evil Dead 2 and stuff.
Nice.
Not bad.
I need to watch it again. I don't think I've watched it since I saw it in the theater. Well, maybe once. I don't know.
I'm with you though. I'm old school. Give me the old classics any day. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All day long.
Yep. So I guess that'll lead us into the new Evil Dead movie coming out, Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah,
now,
I don't know much about it. Do you?
I think I'm excited for it, but here's what I think. I think because apparently this is also set in the same universe, I think this is going to slowly become like an anthology thing, like a new Evil Dead movie based around the book and other characters. You know, like you had your Ash Williams, and now you get ready for all these new people.
So I guess Bruce Campbell's not going to be in it, and the Ash character's not returning. And it's like, okay, we already had that.
Damn.
We already had a movie that did that. So, you know, it's like, this is Evil Dead 4. It's like, well, didn't we already have an Evil Dead movie without Ash? Won't that just be the same thing as the 2013 movie? So I was excited when I heard there's an Evil Dead 4. I was like, yes! Then I heard Ash wasn't in it, and I was like, oh. I was like, oh, okay.
They said, because they said he was involved in it or something.
Yeah, but I'm not all excited about it, to be honest. But
yeah, and also they took it out of the cabin, and now it's in like a high-rise apartment building or something.
Oh wow!
You know what that reminds me of? It
Poltergeist.
kind of reminds me of Demons 2.
Oh yeah,
Demons in the high-rise apartment
you're
building.
right.
Kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, it does sound a lot like that.
I have to see, I guess.
It'd be cool if they made a movie that was a lot like the Evil Dead Fistful of Boomstick video game for the PS2.
Yeah,
that would make a really cool Evil Dead 4. Bruce Campbell would have to be in it, of course, but
nice.
I always thought that would make a really awesome storyline for a movie.
Yeah,
how the DJ plays the tape out loud and stuff, and the whole city gets possessed, and then there's more time travel and more crazy stuff going on. I always thought that made more sense than Ash just getting high and reading from the book to impress this girl who's dating in the TV show. It was funny, but it's like, would Ash really do that? I mean, he knows how dangerous those things are. I doubt.
I know, right?
And how do you even get the book? Wasn't it burnt to a crisp at the end of the first movie? I know there's some missing pages in the second one. Maybe he brought it from the past. I don't know. Who knows?
But the girl had the pages from the book. His girlfriend or whatever.
Oh
yeah. I don't know.
It's always.
Well, that was her. Well, it was her father, right? That made the original tapes on the.
Yeah. Professor Nobi. Strange Monkey Reviews is in the chat. How's it going, Strange Monkey?
Hey, what's up, Strange Monkey?
Yeah, it's always weird to go back and watch like Evil Dead 1 or 2 and then go watch Ash versus Evil Dead. Ash is a completely different person.
Yeah, he goes through a lot of changes throughout the series.
Yeah. His humor, the way he acts.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you have to look at that as being the sequel. If you want to continue the story, you'll have to watch the series.
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
Which is cool, but
yeah, be cool to get a fourth movie though. But I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, I definitely won't spoil anything. Let's just say I was very aggravated when I heard Ash vs. Evil Dead got canceled. I'm like, really? Already?
Yeah.
Especially on the awesome cliffhanger the series it landed on. I wanted to see the rest of that. I wanted to see where that went, but
yeah, that would have seemed like it would have been really cool, really interesting.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Would have been a perfect Evil Dead 4, right?
Indeed. But, oh well, what can you do? Anybody else have anything to add about the Evil Dead franchise? What's everybody's favorite movie in the series? Mine's Evil Dead 2, like I already said.
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 1 for me.
Nice. It's a close one. It's a close one between the two.
I like it because it's the scarier one.
True.
And the moodier and the great atmosphere.
Yeah, more suspense, more scares.
And there's some great scenes with the fog and the girl going off into the background into the fog.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Very
I love
eerie
stuff like that.
Yeah, very eerie, ominous atmosphere and scenery.
But definitely can't. I love Evil Dead 2. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That one just blew me away just a little more than the first one did. I think it's only because I love the Ash character in that one so much. It was just so awesome in that movie. But they're both great. It depends on what I'm in the mood for. If I want to watch a scarier movie, I'll watch the first one. If I want to watch a more funnier, slightly more entertaining, more action-packed movie, I'll watch the second one.
It's just crazier. It's like the volume turned way up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much quicker pace, much zanier. You know?
Indeed.
Yeah. It's kind of similar for me with like Phantasm 1 and 2 because the first Phantasm I think is incredible. It's surreal, it's moody, atmospheric. And the second one is more upbeat and fun and action. But some part of
Yes.
me wants to go for the first Phantasm film. It's a mix up. Either one.
It's very similar. The first two Phantasms are very similar to the first two Evil Deads. Tone
And I'm the
wise.
same with that. I like the original better.
Yeah. James Moss is leaving.
Have a
See you
good
later,
one.
James. Thanks for stopping
Thanks for
by.
hanging.
Until next time.
Mr. Dan and Horror in the house.
Mr. Dan is here. How's it going, Mr. Dan?
Welcome.
Anything else you guys want to add about the Evil Dead franchise before we go into John Carpenter?
It's awesome.
It's awesome, yes.
Both thumbs up. Gets the Hellhound seal of approval.
Yes. Did you see that video with I think it was Rusting Willpower when she tried to do that and she couldn't do it?
Oh yeah. That's just like this.
Like, what is she doing?
She's like, I can't do that hand gesture.
She butchered it.
She's so funny.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Top 5 John Carpenter movies.
Top 5.
Let's start. Let's go from number 5. Number 5, and start with our 5th favorite.
Who would like to go first?
I'll go. I guess I'll go Christine for my number 5.
Excellent choice.
Collaboration with Stephen King.
Can't go wrong with Stephen King and mixed with John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Love it. And the score is so good too.
Oh yeah. Awesome. And really good effects too, especially in the car, when they show it coming back to life or whatever.
Yeah, when he's like, show me, and then it just starts forming back into place. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, I guess I'll go up next. I actually had like 3 choices for top 5. That's how close this was. But I went with this one probably for nostalgia reasons. This was one of the first Carpenter films I ever saw on TV and didn't even know it was Carpenter. And that is They Live.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
This movie is so much fun. Roddy Piper kicks ass in this movie. Keith David is fun. The 6-minute long fight scene is just classic.
Yeah.
I am here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
All out of bubble gum. Mama don't like tattletales. Roddy Piper was awesome in that movie.
Yeah,
he was actually good in it.
Yeah, he was great. He was the best part. Him and Keith David were both really fun to watch.
Yeah. I love the concept. It's a really cool concept.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
Interesting look at almost like society, making sending a message about the way things are in the government.
Some people are actually aliens.
Yeah. And that's just something about John Carpenter I've always loved is the fact that a lot of his movies won't have a happy ending. They'll kind of leave off on this moody ending. It'd be like,
yeah, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 5 is the same as Horror Fan 88's. They Live.
Nice.
I love this movie. more of a sci-fi kind of action adventure than it is a straight up horror film. Though obviously it does
Yeah.
steal from the darker themes, and the premise is pretty horrifying to say the least. These aliens blending in with humans and secretly kind of taking over, and moving up in the world and basically controlling us. We're essentially slaves to these aliens in a way. Really cool concept, really awesome science fiction. That's a pretty low budget too, but he's still John Carpenter still makes us believe that this is actually happening. We still believe that we're watching a full-fledged alien invasion, or actually a post-alien invasion. Aliens have taken control of our planet, and the best part, of course, Roddy Piper just being a badass, awesome hero, awesome, hilarious lines. Just watching him clean house. I love the part where he goes in the bank, just starts blowing away aliens with a shotgun. Yeah, he was just too cool. And they could have had Kurt Russell play that part, but I'm glad it went to Roddy Piper.
He could have, yeah.
Great, yeah.
But then they'll be like, "Oh, come on, you're using Kurt Russell too much."
Yeah, true. He did use it a lot. He's done Unpleasant a whole lot too. But yeah, I love They Live. That's my 5th favorite John Carpenter movie.
Yeah, and one part that killed me is when he's in like the grocery store and the alien bumps into him and says, "Excuse me," and he's like, your head looks like it fell on the cheese dip back in 1957. Formaldehyde face. That's what we got.
You need a Brazilian plastic surgeon.
So good.
Yeah, he was really funny.
All right, so number 4 for me would be The Fog.
Nice.
And this is all about the atmosphere. I mean,
Yep.
Is there a movie with better atmosphere? Not too many.
I think that has my favorite atmosphere and scenery and tone of like any horror film. So eerie, just so like creepy and ethereal with its spookiness. Just really paints a really vivid picture of just an eerie setting.
Great cast. You got Janet Leigh. You got Jamie Lee Curtis coming.
Tom Atkins.
Al Holbrook.
Holbrook. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of my favorites. Adrian Barbeau, of course.
Music,
Yep.
Oh, and Adrian Barbeau. I can't forget her.
Adrian Barbeau, yep. She was on a few Carpenter flicks too.
Yep.
Yeah, Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, that was Wes Craven, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Wes Craven. Yeah.
She was in John Carpenter's TV movie. I got it over here somewhere. Right here. Someone's Watching Me.
Oh yeah. She was in New
wow.
York also.
Yes.
But,
Did you already list your number 4 horror fan?
I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
So my number 4, I agree with Sean, is The Fog. This movie, so atmospheric, definitely one of John Carpenter's top casts. It is brilliant.
Yeah.
The overall ghosts themselves, when they show up in the fog, and you got Blake with the red glowing eyes, so much atmosphere, so moody. And aside from Halloween, this is my favorite Carpenter score. I find it just haunting sounding, beautiful. So yeah, The Fog is my number 4.
It's even got some slasher elements.
Oh,
yeah, it does. Yeah, some scenes are kind of violent too. It's a little bloody.
Yeah.
And my number 4 is The Fog. We all have the same number.
All
4.
around.
Yeah. I love the idea of like ghostly pirates, and like the ghostly mariners in this movie are, essentially kind of like that. And I love the setting of the little seaside village, Antonio Bay, and just the spirits, the evil spirits getting revenge, and this movie just got everything. And the best atmosphere of any horror movie I've ever seen by far. Great suspense, great creepy moments, great scares. It's one of the only movies I have on Laserdisc too.
nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's freaking love this movie. It's one of John Carpenter's best.
Without doubt. I love when you hear them knock to boo 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 on the door.
Yeah.
Like, oh snap.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Yep, you got Tom Atkins without a mustache. Rare
Yeah.
sight.
Yeah.
That's the scariest part of the
Macking
movie.
on Jamie Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got to see a little bit of a different side to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not Laurie Strode in this movie.
Yeah, not quite.
And even John Carpenter's in it, remember? He shows
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
in the church, right?
Yeah.
I
Wanting
saw
to
that
get
at the theater too. It was a very cool theater experience for sure.
You saw it in the theater?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sure did.
Nice. Well, my next one might shock you. Dang.
Nice.
In other words, it might shock you that it's not higher.
Number 3 is pretty good though. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. It's a great freaking movie. I mean, come on.
definitely.
It's one of the best remakes out there.
I think it's
Yeah.
the best. I think it's the best remake by far. It's the only remake, in my opinion, ever that actually blows the original away. And I like the original from the 50s. The
Yeah.
thing from the word, I like it, but I think the remake's better in pretty much every way.
Yes, I would have to
Hardly any
agree.
other remakes can boast that, in my opinion. Most of them, I think, are worse than the original. So not only is this one better, but it actually is way better.
Yeah, it's one of the rare cases.
Yeah, I think it's the only case actually. Where it's,
I think another good example would maybe be The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
yeah, but I think that one's a little closer. I like it. I like the remake better too, but I do like the original a lot. I think it's very close. I do prefer the remake, but it's very close. Those are the only 2 remakes I prefer to the original, actually. But The Thing's the only one that I think is way better than the original. But they're both great. Because I actually like the original The Blob a hair better than the 1988 version. I love them both. I like the original. I like the 58 one just a little bit more. Only because I grew up.
It's got that classic, like old school.
It's got that charm, and I love Steve McQueen. So I know the remake has better acting and better special effects and all that stuff. But the original had more heart, and I also like the design of the Blob a little better. I know that it was better effects in the remake, of course, but I just like the design of it better in the original. It looked more, I don't know, it just looked like more like slime. Where the original kind of looked like a giant piece of sewage or something.
Yellow.
Still cool though.
Yellow. All
That's
right,
another case though with awesome effects, practical effects.
Yeah, oh yeah, they look great.
In the
They
remake.
look amazing. I just like the design of the creature itself a little more in the original, though it does obviously can do more in the 80s version because it's better effects.
Well, what's so great about The Thing is, I love how it jumps from body to body.
Yeah.
And you don't know who can be, who is it, And then, of course, they do the blood testing. That scene is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You want to talk about tension and suspense? That scene is brilliant.
And the best practical effects, or best special effects, even period, in my opinion,
of any movie,
by far, I think.
Nice.
This looks incredible.
Incredible, no question about it.
Yeah, it's way better than the CGI crap of today. And it looks like it's actually happening. It looks like a real alien, turning into people and dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was that's what's kind of disappointing about the Thing prequel is the fact that I like that movie, and they actually used practical effects, but they threw CGI and made it look like a computer game. So
that hurts it. That hurts it.
Yeah. But yeah, my number 3 is also The Thing. For a reason, the one above this, I just have like so much nostalgia for. And this one, no doubt, I think is overall Carpenter's best made movie. You know, if you're going for that. Practical effects, top notch. The blood test scene made my heart jump out, do a front flip, and come back. Like as soon as he was like, "We'll do you last," and he goes, "Wow!" I was like, "God!"
It still gets me. Like, I know it's coming, but when's it coming?
You know, this is another classic Carpenter ending where he lets you form your own opinion of what happens. And I just overall really like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. You wonder.
Yeah, it's like, is one of them the Thing, or
you
know, you never know.
Keeps you thinking. I like that.
But anyway, my third favorite. It was actually a close one between this and my number 2 choice. They kind of teeter-tottered this whole time I was making this list, and it's almost a tie. It's very, very close, but I think I'm going to go with The Thing as well. So,
wow,
so
I'm surprised.
Choice yet again. Yeah, though it is a very close one between this and the number 2 spot. Like I said, they're almost a tie.
Yeah,
best special effects ever by far. Kurt Russell's a badass, like always. I love his character R.J. McCready. He's great. I love all the cast actually. I like all the characters. They're all great. I like the Arctic setting. You know, this icy, isolated wasteland. The atmosphere, you know, is just kind of such a secluded and hopeless setting. And
yes,
what they have done if they didn't have flamethrowers. You know, they would have been totally screwed. But the awesome looking alien, awesome creature effects and design, amazing practical effects, great acting, great characters, great visuals, pretty scary too. When I first saw this, it genuinely creeped me out. That scene where the guys puts the
defibrillator.
Yeah. I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah, and it takes his arms out.
Turns into a mouth with teeth and like chomps down his arms. Yeah, that's still that used to get me every time. And Rob Botton's effects are amazing. The music by Ennio Morricone is stellar, and just everything. Albert Whitlock's visual effects. Yeah, the makeup by Rob Botton, like I said. John Carpenter's directing. Bill Lancaster's writing. It's all just freaking phenomenal. I have nothing bad to say about this movie. I think it's a masterpiece. It's a 10 out of 10, and it does better than the original in pretty much every way, which is very, very rare for me to say. Freaking love it.
Yep.
I was going to ask that. What do you think about Ennio Morricone doing the score instead of John Carpenter? Like, why didn't he do it?
Yeah, I always wondered that too, but I think it works. I like the.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I love the music. It's perfect. You know, I mean, would John Carpenter have done a better job or as good a job? You know, who knows? But I couldn't picture this with any other soundtrack. So
yeah.
So I think it worked out.
And the movie feels cold too. It has that cold feel.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Feel the chill of Antarctica.
Yeah. Big K is out. See you later, Big K. Thanks for stopping by.
A good one.
Thanks for stopping by.
Body Bags is a good one, Amber. She said I could call her by her real name, so it's a good one. I like Body Bags.
Body Bags. His anthology.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Indeed.
Well, I'll say my number 2 then. Escape from New York, baby. Fucking love this movie. Snake Plissken, what a great character. Oh my god.
Yes.
My favorite Kurt Russell role.
Mine too, by far. And another one of my favorite protagonists, right up there with Ash Williams.
He's just so damn cool.
Yeah, he's too cool. He's too freaking cool. Matt Divitt is in the chat. How's it going, Matt?
Well,
They even got Isaac Hayes in there.
Yeah. As the villain. Yeah, he was awesome.
Pulling up in his badass car
The
with the
Duke.
chandeliers.
I need to get me one of those.
you got Donald
Ernest
Pleasant.
Borgnine. Yeah, Donald Pleasance is the president. Ernest Borgnine is cabbie. You can't meet nobody.
Yeah,
knows
he's
you.
awesome. I love him.
Yeah. Adrian Barbeau.
Yeah,
Lee
he's
Van
great.
Cleef.
He's awesome. I love it. Great cast.
Indeed.
Great, and once again, incredible atmosphere, that apocalyptic future feel.
Yeah. I always like that sort of thing. Very dark and gritty.
Yeah, it's perfect, man. I even got Ox Baker, the wrestler Ox Baker, doing that scene.
Oh, yeah.
When he's like fighting in the wrestling ring.
Nice. Well, my number 2. Here we go again, Sean. Escape from New York. Yeah.
Nice.
If you were to be asked what is your favorite movie of all time that's not a horror movie, this would probably be mine. I love everything about it, the atmosphere, the darkness of it. Cabby, he's like the only glimmer of happiness in the entire place.
Yeah.
Everybody else is so moody and pissed off. Once again, yeah, Snake Plissken, my favorite Kurt Russell role. Score, action. There's a lot of good, like, it's not a horror movie, but it could be so dark that it almost feels like a horror. Like when the crazies come out from the sewers and they're chasing Snake all through everywhere, kind of feels like a nice, tense horror scene.
The cool concept too, how they implant the thing in his brain, where if he doesn't finish the mission, he'll die. Throughout the movie, its clock is ticking. And that adds to the intensity of it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I know it's kind of a film you either love or hate. Once again, nostalgia kicks in. I love the sequel, Escape from LA. I find it nowhere near as good as the first, but it's fun. It's kind of a goofy ass movie just to watch and be like, what are these special effects?
I know, right?
Yeah.
He's surfing. He's surfing.
Yeah, surfing with Peter Fonda. That was odd. It's definitely a different tone from the original.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't personally care for it. I saw it in the movies and I was like disappointed. But
it's kind of grown on me over the years.
I suppose it's fun.
Yeah. It's not near as good as the first one, but I think it's fun in a dumb way. I like Steve Buscemi and I don't know. I think it's got its moments. I like Bruce Campbell's character. I like that whole scene. The plastic in the place.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that even though it's set further in the future, somehow Escape from New York feels more futuristic.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, that is my number 2.
And my number 2, of course, is
Escape from New York.
Love it.
Amber said she thinks we share the same brain.
I know.
Yeah, I love this movie. It's dark. It's gritty. I love the post-apocalyptic thing. This gritty, really grim, really depressing future. Just very well done. Kurt Russell is an absolute badass. Is my favorite Kurt Russell character. Donald Pleasance in it. He's great. Lee Van Cleef is great. Harry Dean Stanton, Adrian Barbeau, Ernest Borgnine. Great cast, great scenery, great characters, great premise. And this DVD I have comes with a pretty cool comic book, the Snake Plissken Chronicles. Pretty cool.
Nice.
I love Snake Plissken. I would love to see him return for a third film, Escape from Cleveland or Escape from Chicago or whatever.
I think he'd do it. I think he'd still do it. It'd
Yeah,
be cool to see like that old grizzled Snake.
Yeah, Snake Plissken could get old. He'd still be awesome. I just love this movie. I absolutely adore it. I have nothing bad to say about it. I think it's just amazing. And as I said, it's just very close between this and The Thing. It's really hard to decide between the two because it's two of my favorite Kurt Russell performances, and pretty much depends on the mood. For if I want a more science fiction, straight up horror, I'll watch The Thing. But if I want a more kind of gritty action adventure, I'll watch Escape from New York. But Escape from New York wins by a hair, probably only because I like Snake Plissken a little better than McLeamy. But it's very close. They're both great.
And that's the thing. He showed he could do something that's not horror. That's an action movie, and how good he could make an action movie. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Snake Plissken is one of my top characters. I even had to buy an eye patch just to. Oh, yeah. Escape from New York is awesome.
Oh, you know who else is in? Nancy Stevens from Halloween.
That's right.
And Tom Atkins.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess now we're on to our number one, which I have a feeling we're all gonna have the same.
Something tells me we're gonna have the same choice. Just a funny feeling.
I have a strange feeling.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wow.
I never would have guessed.
Masterpiece.
Yes.
Brilliant.
That's
what it is to me. It's like a masterpiece. It's like a piece of classical music or something.
I agree. A work of art.
Yeah, yeah. Love it. Love everything about it. I mean, what more can you say?
Yeah. Well, my number one, I'm sure everybody could guess, is Ghost from Mars.
I was going to make that joke. I was totally going to make that same joke. You beat me to it.
I also sadly saw that in the theater.
Yeah, I was
like, oh my God. John, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Halloween, number one, favorite movie of all time. It's classic, very inspirational to the horror genre, and just a 10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
So some honorable mentions are Christine, Vampires, Prince of Darkness, In the Mouth of Madness, and Assault on Precinct 13. And my number one is, of course, Halloween. I was going to say Ghosts of Mars, too, and make a joke, but took the words right out of my mouth. I've already talked about this ad nauseum on this channel, so I'll just sum up by saying it's a masterpiece. It's flawless. It's a 10 out of 10. It's my favorite horror movie ever. It's an absolute classic. It's perfection in every way. I have nothing bad to say about it. The Michael Myers character is one of the most complex, interesting horror villains I've ever seen. I love Donald Pleasance, one of my favorite horror protagonists. Laurie Strode's my favorite final girl. I love the music. I love the atmosphere. I love the scenery. I love the Halloween setting. I love the kills. I love everything about it. It's a solid 10 out of 10. Still blows me away to this day.
What is y'all's favorite scene from Halloween overall? One scene. For me, it would be the scene where Laurie's running across the road and Michael's just slowly approaching her from across. You see him getting closer and closer. Yeah. Very intense scene.
That's a great one. Wow, I can't. Oh, man. Really have to think about that.
My favorite part is Tony Moran. When he gets unmasked, that took a lot of effort, what he did, raising his arms up and pulling the max back over his head, Not just anybody could have done that, So.
And then another guy does the next scene when he gets shot off the balcony. That's another guy.
Yeah. How many different people played Myers in that movie? Like 10?
5 different people.
Yeah, even John Carpenter himself played him at one point.
Oh.
I think
Deborah
I even
Hill
played him
even.
at one point.
Yeah. And I think young Michael Myers, the POV was actually Deborah Hill's hands.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
doing the
Even
killing.
Deborah Hill played him at one point. I think everybody who worked on that movie played him somewhere in there.
You know, a
Tommy
lot
Lee
of credit
Wallace.
to Deborah Hill too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tommy Lee Wallace did the closet scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Which I think that might be my favorite scene.
I think it might be mine
Tension,
too.
tension is unbelievable in that.
I think my favorite scene might actually be Dr. Loomis's monologue about the black
Oh yeah,
eyes line. That
it's a
whole
favorite line.
yeah, definitely. I love Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis.
Absolutely.
You know, almost can't decide between him and Myers. They're both just awesome characters. And yeah, Nick Castle is great, of course, as the Shape.
Without doubt. It's just it's hard for me to answer that because every scene is great to me. You know.
Yeah, the whole movie. My favorite part is just the entire movie.
Yep.
Right.
So what is next? The horror gems.
Yep.
Top 5?
Top 5 underrated, obscure horror gems that people don't talk about enough.
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear you guys.
I think now all my choices, I'm pretty sure they're all like well known among the horror community, but maybe not to like people who are just getting into horror. I think they might be overlooked, and I probably could have thought of some more obscure ones. I know I could have actually. I was actually looking at my collection. I found some that were even lesser known than these. I think these are better. Like these are the best of the like lesser known movies in my collection. And there were some that I had that I think were a little too obvious, so I tried to keep it. I tried to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. You know what I went for? I didn't go also super obscure to the point where it's just like no one's ever heard of it.
Yeah,
I went with more like it's considered a classic, but it doesn't really get talked about a whole lot.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
So I guess I'll kick it off. But my number 5 is a very nostalgic movie for me. I've had this DVD seems like forever, but it is The Gate.
Oh, nice.
I love this movie. It's fun, and it's another one of those 80s creatures, except they're demons. You know, it could be like critters or ghoulies, but yeah, just a whole lot of fun. One of my favorite posters overall. And it had Stephen Dorff first role. The Gate.
That's one I loved when I was a kid for sure.
Yeah. The Gate 2 is pretty fun too. But come on.
My number 5, well, we're not saying how many really, but my pick first one would be Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter.
That was one of my honorable mentions. That probably would have been my number 6.
Yeah.
John Carpenter movie.
One of the ones that people don't talk about all that much, you know.
Yeah.
It's almost like the forgotten one.
Yeah, I love it. I just watched that recently for the, rewatched it recently. I mean, I've had it on DVD for years. Alice Cooper's in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just watched it last night myself.
Yeah.
I had to revisit it.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's really cool. I really like that one.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, it's pretty twisted too.
Yeah.
Very demonic.
Pretty gory too.
Yeah, it is.
Once again, some really cool practical effects in there. And it has a little bit of a body snatchers thing going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something I absolutely, once again, love about Carpenter is the fact that he never did the same thing over and over. He did vampires, demons, aliens, ghosts, action.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it all. He did it all very well.
Absolutely. And love Donald Pleasance in that one.
Yeah.
As the priest.
Yeah, he's always great, especially in that type of role.
Yeah.
So for my number 5, I was originally going to go with Basket Case, which I love that movie. It's one of my '80s favorites. But I feel like enough people do probably talk about that, especially now. I think it's gained a pretty large cult following. So yeah, originally I was going to go Basket Case, but then I decided I was like, no, I'll put that back and picked one that gets talked about even less. Not enough people know about this movie. It's not like a really great movie. I think it's a lot of fun. It's stupid as hell, but it's a blast. It's just an absolute fun watch when you want to turn your brain off. It's highly amusing. Again, it's really stupid, bad acting, crappy effects, crappy dialogue, but it's fun. And that's going to be Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bolorama. Again, a very dumb movie, but I just think it's a blast. They got that cheesy '80s feel. And they
Yes.
great, and Brink Stevens and all them.
Yeah, Hal Havens is in that too.
Yeah, Hal Haven. Yeah, for Night of the Night of the Demons.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's great in this. And this is the year before Night of the Demons. I think this was '87. Night of the Demons was '88. And Robin Still, is that her name? I think that's her name. Robin Still from Slumber Party Massacre.
Right.
Yeah, a little evil little imp that grants wishes and kind of talks like the Little Shop of Horrors plant. Yeah, it's really ridiculous. But I love the bowling alley setting. I love Buck Flowers' character. He was hilarious. Yeah, this movie's just a blast. You had to
It's
go to
just
certain
fun,
movies.
yeah.
It's not a masterpiece, but it's dumb, but it's really, really fun and in a stupid, cheesy way. And I think it's really overlooked for those reasons.
Mhm.
I think more people should check it out, just as long as they know what to expect. It's not scary. It's not going to change your life, but you are going to have a fun time with it. And I guarantee you're not going to forget it anytime soon, even though it's on paper it sounds pretty forgettable.
Yeah, that's the kind of movie just to kick back, relax, and just have a good time with.
Exactly. Invite some friends over, order a pizza, and just laugh
Yes.
at it.
All righty.
Seriously, and neither should the viewer.
So my number 4 is once again a movie that I know people know about, but I don't really get here mentioned a whole lot, and that is Class of 1984.
Yes,
This movie,
that's a good one.
Pretty intense in some places. You can feel the anger in the teacher a lot. You got Roddy McDowell in here delivering a great performance. Yeah, when I first saw this, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it was. Funny enough, I actually saw the sequel first, Class of 1999.
Yeah,
but I prefer this one.
Yeah.
Same here.
Pretty dark.
Great choice.
It's a good movie.
I haven't seen that in a long time. Me
neither. About the gate, I just want to say one thing about the gate. It's PG-13, but the movie never feels like it's holding back. It's still kind of dark for a PG-13, and I really like the special effects, the little demons and stuff. And of course, Steven Dorff. I think that was his first movie. He was just a kid, and of course, he went on to be a big star as an adult. And I really like the gate. And the gate 2 is kind of crappy, but I still kind of like it.
Yeah, I like the character Terry, the little metalhead.
Little metalhead geek, and he returns in the gate 2 as well.
Yeah,
I could really relate to him when I was
the
growing
Gate
up.
2, I think, is a fun movie, but one of the things I remember most is they get wishes, and then the wishes literally turn to shit.
Yeah. Yeah, they wish for a car, and then it just turns into a pile of crap, literally. Yeah, it's a weird movie, but the first one's definitely better.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm going to go with one that I feel gets overlooked a lot, even though I guess it's kind of well known in the horror community, but I feel like it doesn't get enough love. I hear a lot of negativity about it. The Prowler.
That's a good one.
It's just an awesome slasher movie. It's just a straight up slasher movie. It knows it, and it works in that way.
Yeah. That movie has one of my top slasher kills ever, with the guy that gets the knife through the head and then he pulls up and his eyes are white. That was sick. Tom Savini.
Yes.
How about the size of that knife too? It's like a little sword almost.
Yeah. Like the shotgun blast.
Ooh, yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah, pretty cool looking killer too. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool looking killer.
Yeah, the
I
army.
don't know what it is, but I just love the fact that he uses a pitchfork.
Yeah.
And he's like this military dude. Like, why does he have a pitchfork?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned this in my review of that a long time ago. But did you notice the scene that was literally like the exact scene of Friday the 13th Part 2? She's under the bed, a rat shows up, the killer's in there with a pitchfork.
Oh,
I'm like,
Yeah, that is really similar.
Same year, huh?
Yeah.
1981.
Yep. What a year for slashers that was.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely the best year, I think.
I think so, too.
Oh, I love the shower scene, too, when he gets up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
And
weird,
it's prolonged, and you almost like you feel bad for her, you know.
Yeah.
Intense.
Also, the pool kill with the knife slitting her throat, but it's like
Yeah.
deep in the
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah.
Very gruesome. What about that surprise ending? that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know. I love when he shows up the door. It's time for our date, and he has the rose.
Yeah.
Here for our date, Rosemary.
Yeah.
What's your next one, Hellhound?
My number 4 would be no other than Slaughter High.
Oh,
Nice.
Another one of my favorite 80s slashers. Marty majored in cutting classmates. Yeah, very fun slasher. I love revenge movies. I love when there's like an awkward outcast, like a nerd who gets wronged and then gets revenge on his bullies and his tormentors. I think that's a great premise, and this one definitely delivers in that front. Some people complain that the actors playing the teenagers at the beginning were too old for teenagers, but the thing is, they had to play their adult selves too. And the movie that takes place, the main body of the movie takes place, what, like 10 years later? Is it their 10-year reunion or something, I think? Something like that. And so, so it was fine that they were older. Again, yeah, at the beginning, they did look way too old to be playing teenagers, but it was either that
like
or
Carolyn Monroe.
Yeah, oh, yeah, she was
it's
definitely.
like 35.
Yeah, she was definitely too old to play a teenager. But I like the cast. I like the characters. They're all fun. I like the look of the killer Marty, played by the late Simon Scudamore, wearing the jester outfit. Yeah, pretty cool movie. Really fun flick. Really fun 80s slasher that doesn't get talked about quite as much. Marty's a cool character. They pick on him so much, and they cause an accident to happen where his face gets scarred by acid, and then he comes back for revenge and picks them off in various gruesome ways during their 10-year reunion in an abandoned high school that they all went to. Cool premise. Pretty cool movie. Again, it's not like a masterpiece or anything, but very fun movie with some cool kills.
The cool mask, too. I like his mask.
Yeah, the jester mask.
Yeah, I'd love to get that updated on Blu-ray. I got it in like a compact, whatever. But
I've got it on Blu-ray and DVD, but I put it the VHS copy just because, I don't know, I think it's cooler.
So, my next one of my honorable mentions would have been Pieces, because that was just a wild movie.
Yes, it is. Spanish horror.
Yeah. So, with this one, I wanted to think, if you got a person who wants to get into horror and they want to know something fun to watch, I'd recommend this one, Night of the Creeps.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
I love that movie.
My favorite Tom Atkins role.
Mine too, by far.
Definitely.
So many one-liners thrill me. It's Miller time.
It's Miller time.
So much fun.
Bad news is they're dead.
Detective Cameron? Nope. Bozo the Clown. He was just gold in that movie. Everything he said was a classic.
Really?
Your two main characters, they're fun, dorky guys.
Yeah.
And the one who's in like the walking thing.
Stephen Marshall playing, what was his name? JC, I think.
I think he was the great wingman. He was always there for his friend no matter what.
Yeah, he was awesome. And Jason Lively from European Vacation playing the main teenager. And all the characters have the names of famous horror directors: Carpenter, Romero, Hooper, Craven,
Raimi.
Cronenberg, Raimi, Romero. I think I already said that.
And Jill Whitlow as the love interest.
Yeah.
Great movie.
That's some great humor in there too.
Yeah. Sci-fi horror. It's like a kind of a homage to 50s B movies.
Yeah.
Alien slugs to make people into zombies. Yeah, that movie has everything. They sure don't make them like that anymore.
No.
That movie's just a blast. I love it. It's one of my all-time favorites.
It's awesome.
That's some great practical effects too. Once again.
Oh, yeah. There is definitely.
With slugs going into their mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the mental patient that escapes with the axe.
Yeah.
Comes back as a zombie too.
It's like clack, clack, clack.
Yeah.
The girl.
Great film.
Love it.
Well, I'm going to. Speaking of ones that I need the upgrade that just came out on Blu-ray, Deadly Friends.
I love it.
Dying to get that Blu-ray. Can't wait.
Wes Craven. That movie's very underrated.
That's a very fun Wes Craven movie.
Yeah.
It is.
That's one like Carpenter, I feel that's like the forgotten one.
Yeah.
And I always used to think, how come they never came out with this on Blu-ray? And they finally just did.
I only have it on VHS. I haven't even upgraded to DVD yet, let alone Blu-ray.
And that DVD's pretty hard to find.
Yeah, it is.
I just got lucky one day and found it at Savers or whatever. Oh shit.
Yeah, there's some great scenes in that. One scene that always made me laugh was when that guy was getting on his bike and all of a sudden she just dives out the window onto him.
Yeah.
And you can't forget the I think it's a ball she throws at the person's head.
Yeah, the person's
basketball,
head. Yeah. That was Mama Fratelli from the Goonies, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anne Ramsey, yeah.
Freaking ball knocks her head off. That was really over the top, and like, was that supposed to be funny? Because I always thought that was kind of funny, just because how
got super gory there for me.
Yeah, it sure is. I did not expect that.
It's almost up till then. It's almost like a teen horror or something. And they're like, whoa.
That was pretty out there.
I just think, yeah, it's so much fun.
Indeed.
BB. And I love Christy Swanson.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my first crush when I saw her in that movie. Even when she's dead, she looks pretty hot. What do you got up next, Hellhound?
For my third choice, it's going to be none other than The Horror Show.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, Max Jenke.
Yeah, Brian James. Gotta love it. Surprised how many people don't talk about this one. It's kind of overshadowed by Shocker, which came out the same year by Wes Craven, which is a very similar premise, an executed serial killer coming back for revenge. It's almost a very similar movie. And it's a close one between the two. I like them both, but as far as more obscure, more underrated ones, I go with this one because a lot of people know about Shocker. Not people talk about this one's unofficially a House 3 outside of the U.S. And Brian James plays Max Jenke, the serial killer who's executed and comes back from the dead to terrorize the cop, played by Lance Henriksen, that's sent to the electric chair. It's very similar to Shocker, and I think they try to cash in on the whole Freddy Krueger thing a little bit too. But I really like Brian James. It's very fun to watch. He has that snicker. He kind of sounds like Skeletor a little bit. Great. Directed by James Isaac. Music. Harry Manfredini did the music. Sean S. Cunningham produced it. So it's got like a all-star horror cast and crew. Well, Chris Landon Henderson and Brian James were both no strangers to horror either. Both of them were in some of my favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes as well. Yeah, I really like this movie. Really dig it. I've got this on Blu-ray as well. But I put on the VSS copy only because I like this cover a lot better. Yeah, it's a really good one.
Man, I
I like it a
haven't
lot.
seen that in a long time.
Yeah. So I saw this on TV years and years ago, and I immediately fell in love with it. And yeah, I couldn't find it anywhere. Then I finally, got a copy and then upgraded to Blu-ray even later. And yeah, I've always thought this was a really good movie. It's definitely flawed. There's a lot of things that detract from it, but I think it's still pretty solid nonetheless.
Yeah.
It could have been better, but I still really like it quite a bit. I think it's
Brian
pretty
James
good for what it is.
I liked him a lot in that.
Yeah, he was one of the villains in Tango and Cash with Kurt Russell and Stallone. Love that movie.
Yeah, you're right.
It's also in Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah. So, my number 2. This is kind of a slasher movie, but it's one that I love and have fun with. That is Chopping Mall.
Yes.
Or other title, Killbots, originally
Killbots.
titled.
Yeah.
That almost made my list.
Yeah, this movie, so much fun. One of the standout scenes is the laser and then the head explosion right after.
Yes.
Yeah. Gotta love that.
Yeah, they start fighting back against them, and it's just a fun movie. It's one I have fun with. I know for the time it came out, a lot of people were pissed that it wasn't a slasher in a mall like The Initiation or something.
Yeah.
But overall,
this made my list too, weirdly enough.
It is in a way. I mean,
yeah.
I think it's
just the robots are the slashers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's unique. There wasn't a lot of slasher movies about robots, and the fact that they look like a number 5 from Short Circuit on steroids.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. I love that movie. I think it's a blast. I like the mall
Yeah,
scene.
I mean,
It's a cool idea. Not enough horror movies.
Barbara Crampton in there.
Dawn of the Dead. Yep, Barbara Crampton. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great flick.
Dick Miller. Dick Miller isn't there.
Yeah. I just got that on Blu-ray recently, the Vestron Video Blu-ray. And
Yeah,
I got the Lightning Video VHS as well.
That's the one there, Vestron, that he has.
Yeah, that's the one I have. And the original Lightning Video VHS, which is actually getting a little pricey nowadays. And I got it on DVD too, of course.
Definitely looks like a good transfer because the DVD I had was not very good, but this one looks better.
Yeah, definitely. So much fun.
Indeed.
Like I got the beauty contest and the swimsuits just walking down the escalator.
Yeah.
A little kid looking around.
Yeah, one scene I couldn't help but laugh at is when, the two couple, they're making out on the couch and he says, "You smell like pepperoni." And he's like, "Wait a minute, I like pepperoni." Like, what?
Yeah, pretty interesting dialogue.
Yeah.
Oscar-winning line there.
Yeah. Well, my next pick is another one I feel like doesn't get enough love, and people probably really don't even know about as much either as the original. Definitely, it's not as well loved as the original Bride of Reanimator.
Yes. It's definitely overlooked in favor of the first one.
Yeah, definitely. But I actually think Jeffrey Combs is like just as good in the sequel.
Yeah, I agree.
I love Reanimator. If you can see right there, like all these green cases is all Reanimator stuff.
Nice.
Nice.
Like this is old laser disc.
Wow.
Wow. That is cool.
Great piece of my collection.
Yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, Bride of Reanimator, whole lot of fun.
Yeah. Some great effects with the bride, especially in the bride, in which she pulls her heart out and stuff.
Yeah. And the little
awesome.
fingers with the eyeball thing.
Yeah.
And Dr. Hill, the bat wings on his head.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
At the end of the movie, I was like, is Dr. Hill going to say anything, or is he just going to maniacally laugh the whole time?
I love the opening credits too. His head floating around. West.
You bastard!
There's definitely more humor, I think, than in the second one.
And
big
you
time.
can kind of pick up on stuff like when they first bring in Dr. Hill's head. He's like, we found that at the circus, and in the first one he said, "Go join a circus."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once again, his
Look at
head.
you now. Look at you now. You're just a dead head.
Get a job at a sideshow.
Don't let the little head think for the big head, Dan.
My God, they're using tools.
Yeah.
So good.
Very Bride of Frankenstein-ish, for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh yeah, big time.
Obviously. When she comes to life, she rejects him. I created you.
Yeah, it is a lot like that.
And I love how Jeffrey Combs keeps reeling them in. Bruce Abbott.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna start a new life form with Meg's heart.
Yeah, that whole dialogue. Yeah.
So really still working with him, after he pretty much caused his girlfriend to die and all the carnage that he caused in the previous massacre. He's still working with him. I guess that's why, just because he wants to see his girlfriend come back.
And I actually got a chill during the ending of the movie when Herbert West had that big dialogue scene where she's like, "This is blasphemy," and he's like, "Blasphemy? Before what God?" And then he goes on. I'm like, "Ooh."
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another one of my favorite
Such
lines.
a commanding presence.
We will create new life.
Yeah, and you can't forget about when he's talking to Dr. Hill's head. "You're just a dead head, a nobody." Jeffrey Combs in my top 2 favorite actors. I just love everything.
Yeah, he's great.
Definitely.
He makes everything good.
Oh yeah.
What's your next one, Hellhound?
I think it's gonna be none other than 976 Evil.
Nice.
Directed by Freddy Krueger himself. Robert Englund directed this movie. I think it was the only one.
I think that's the only one he ever did.
I think so, yeah. I think he might have directed some TV episodes, but I'm pretty sure this is the only full-length feature film he directed. And it stars Stephen Jeffries from Fright Night as another outcast who gets picked on and gets revenge against his tormentors, much like in Slaughter High. Only instead of this time he gets possessed by demons, which I think is really freaking cool. He calls this hotline 976 Evil for his horror scope, and gets possessed by otherworldly spirits and gains supernatural powers, and gets even with his peers that constantly harass him on a daily basis. Really awesome, really cool movie. I always like Stephen Jeffries. And some really memorable scenes. Very satisfying seeing all those douchebags get their comeuppance. I love that sort of thing. Yeah. It's very rewarding to watch, and it could be a lot better. It's not like a masterpiece or anything like these others, but similar to these others, but I have some problems with it, but overall, I think it's a really enjoyable watch. I think it's a good movie, and I think it is very underrated as far as '80s horror films go that don't get talked about quite enough. I do recommend this one overall for sure. I think it's
It is definitely overlooked.
yes, big time. Hey, Strange to see it is in the house. How's it going?
What's going on?
Yeah, I have the sequel to 976 Evil 2, and I
Me
think
too. The Astral
I
Factor.
don't think I ever saw that one.
It's okay.
I think you have a returning character from the first one.
Pat
in there.
O'Brien,
Yeah.
as Spike. I think his name's Spike, the motorcycle riding guy with the leather jacket.
Yeah, I thought
he's the same name as a guitarist from Cannibal Corpse too, a former guitarist. And it also the best part of that Bat movie is aside from the killer with the weird disfigured face is the part where It's a Wonderful Life combines with Night of the Living Dead.
yeah.
That was pretty cool. And yeah, the killer has got like a pizza face. He's got like acne, sort of.
Yeah.
Like, looks like acne scars all over his face. I don't like as much as this one though. That's for sure. But it's
Pizza
all right.
face. What does that remind me of? Pizza face. Oh, I think it's in House 4 when they
House
open the
4,
pizza.
yeah.
I'm
Don't
the
forget
pizza.
to eat your pizza, man.
But yes, my number one is a movie that I watched on repeat constantly. I love metal. I love horror. If you know where I'm going with this, Trick or Treat.
I figured.
1986. Just so much fun, this movie. It can be flawed at times, but it has a great soundtrack by Fastway, fun characters. You got Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne. And I have the DVD, but I prefer this cover with like the cool pumpkin jack-o'-lantern look. But fun movie, love it so much. That is my number one.
Nice.
Sammy Kerr.
Very metal.
I'm having connection issues, so I didn't.
You didn't hear it?
Yeah, I heard like the end of it.
Oh, my number one was
Wi-Fi
Trick or Treat.
problems. Trick or Treat. Excellent choice.
I love it. Once again, I love this cover more than the Photoshop DVD cover I have.
I hate that DVD cover with just
It's
Ozzy
bad,
Osbourne and Gene Simmons standing there and getting top billing, and they don't even look like they did in the movie.
I know,
like,
they're barely in
even in it, really. That was stupid. They just got that to get people to buy it. That was such a cash grab.
I think this is like the German Blu-ray, but it's region free, so I picked it up.
Nice.
So not too bad, but overall the movie fun as hell. I can look past the few problems that it has overall, but good movie.
Great choice.
Thank you.
So my number one is going to be one that's again from a highly prolific director that this is one that just gets lost in the shuffle a lot. I think Inferno.
Love it.
Everyone always talks about Suspiria or Deep Red, Tenebrae.
Love
Don't talk
Inferno.
about this one that much. But
That's
it's
a good
got a lot of the same feel as like Suspiria with the wild color scheme and
Yeah.
that's some nasty kills.
Oh yeah, I've been on an Italian horror kick the past week, and I've just been watching all my Italian horror.
Oh yeah.
Nice. There's a great one to get to.
Yeah, it's kind of out there, but it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Kind of batshit at times.
It's not quite as
Like
good as
cats.
Suspiria, but it comes close. I do like it a lot. It does get overlooked in favor of a lot of those other Dario Argento classics.
Yeah.
Again, I love the score. I love the look of it.
Yes.
It's a great.
Great
Daria Nickelodeon there again.
Yep.
It's just classic Argento.
Yeah, and I know that's the second in the Three Mothers trilogy. It's kind of too bad that the third film, Mother of Tears, couldn't have been around the same era as Inferno. but
It's too late, like too little, too late.
Yeah, it's too modern for me.
Mm.
yeah.
Doesn't have that charm, that classic charm.
Plus, I feel like, I mean, he's not as good as he was then, you know,
Right?
Yeah.
as a director, in my opinion.
Not quite.
He had a streak of just amazing films.
Yes.
Right,
Just
that's
John
maybe he
was-
peaked early, you know.
I
Yeah,
consider him like the Italian John Carpenter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Movies like Tenebrae. I just watched that again last night.
Yes.
That's a classic Giallo.
Definitely.
Deep Red, one of my all-time
Deep
favorites.
Red, yep.
Absolutely.
Great choice.
It's like I don't deny that the others are better movies, but I just feel like it's still a good movie.
Yeah, gets overshadowed a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Did you say your number one yet, Hellhound?
Oh no, my number one is the same as horror fans. Trick or Treat.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, they combined with
It's-
three of my favorite things: horror, heavy metal, and Halloween. And
Yes.
it also has
There you go.
a bullied teen getting revenge against his tormentors, just like two of the other movies I had on this list: Slaughter High and 976 Evil. This also has that. I really identify with that guy. You know, he's a metalhead and he's an outcast, and you know, he idolizes Sammy Kerr. And when his
Mhm.
idol is killed, you know, he ends up summoning him by playing the record backwards, and he comes back and unleashes all kinds of hell. Just really awesome. And of course, it takes place in Halloween, and cameo by Ozzy Osbourne, a brief appearance by Gene Simmons playing a minor supporting character. Pretty cool makeup effects, awesome scenery, cool looking monster in one scene. Yeah, very, very cool, very fun movie. Yeah, Tony Fields was great, as was Mark Price. Yeah, it's awesome heavy metal soundtrack too. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I consider this overlooked gem when it comes to 80s horror films. Absolutely
Yep.
love it. And
I think
I hate that DVD cover, so I didn't even bother pulling it out. I wanted to
Yes.
take that instead. That DVD cover sucks.
I think the decision to have Ozzy Osbourne play an evangelist
Yes.
is perfect.
You're
The
right.
reverend who's against heavy metal. That is just genius. That is hilarious. That was such a cool idea.
Oh yeah.
Well, we should probably get to the Megadeth, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Go talk about their whole career.
Should we talk about each album in order? That way we're talking about the same album at the same time.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start with their debut. Killing is my business, and business is good.
Great.
Much
band.
prefer that cover, by the way,
Me
than
too.
the original cover.
I don't like the original cover quite as much. This
It's
one's
pretty
way
bad,
better.
pretty cheesy.
Yeah, the Combat Records cover, and then like the logo, the Megadeth logo, in, like pink cursive letters, and
Yeah.
really crude
Bad.
looking Vic Rattlehead. This looks way better.
Yeah,
One thing I
that
don't
looks-
like about the remastered version is that it censors their cover of These Boots. It has like a lot of bleeps over some of the
Oh.
lyrics, which really
Mm.
fucking sucks. But what can you do? Yeah, it's not a bad debut. It's not one of my favorites, really. I mean, it's not my favorite, but you know, you can tell he was really he hardly ever. I don't think he ever really played any of these songs live. You know, he was out for blood. You know, he was pissed off at Metallica for kicking him out, and you can definitely hear it. And this is a very angry album.
Yeah.
Perfect for thrash metal. Yeah, Dave Mustaine, his guitar playing and songwriting is great. This had Chris Poland on second guitar and Gar Samuelson on drums, and of course David Ellison on bass. Him and Dave Mustaine were on most of the albums. They're kind of the two sole founding members. Ellison's not in the band anymore, of course. We'll get to that later. Yeah, the two Daves and then Chris Poland and Gar Samuelson is one of my probably my second favorite lineup that the band had. I'll get to my first favorite in a minute, but yeah, not a bad debut. Off to pretty good start. Again, not as good as some of the ones that would come, but certainly not one of the worst. Has some classic songs, Last Rites, Love to Death. I love that opening with the piano that just gets heavier and heavier with the guitar, and then the title track, Skull Beneath the Skin, Rattlehead.
Yes.
Mechanics, which is the Megadeth version of Four Horsemen, which David Mustaine wrote that song, so it's fitting that it should be on his album, and to the cover of These Boots. Yep. Solid album.
Yep. Overall, I think it's a good album. Like you said, you can tell he's pissed and he wants revenge, so he's putting it out there.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of good songs on there, like Skull Beneath the Skin and Rattlehead. Overall, it's a good debut. I enjoy it. I just don't think that they had reached their peak yet in the point where they were like officially Megadeth.
I agree. They hadn't quite found their true sound.
Yeah.
Until the next one.
It is very heavy and aggressive, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, they hadn't quite found themselves quite yet.
The only thing that bothered me is I felt the guitar was very scratchy sound. It's like screeching.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the production or it's just the way they recorded it. I don't know.
I know what you mean. Chris Poland was a beast on the six strings, though, and Dave Mustaine, I think, I've always thought was a great guitar player as well. I don't think he gets enough credit for guitar play. He's not really one of my favorite vocalists, but I think his singing voice does fit Megadeth's sound, and I couldn't picture anybody else singing for them. It fits thrash metal pretty well,
That's one of the things that makes Megadeth, though.
Yeah, I agree.
His voice is so recognizable.
Right, yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way. He's not like a virtuoso. He's no Rob Halford or Bruce Dickinson or Jeff Tate, but his voice fits Megadeth perfectly, and I couldn't picture anybody else singing for them.
Yeah, he's got. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like you said, he's a great guitar player too.
Yeah, and songwriter.
Yeah,
he's got good frontman skills also.
Lyrics, very intelligent lyrics.
Yeah,
I think he's got a very unique voice, and I know it's not everybody's taste, but when you hear it, it's Megadeth. So
it's grown up over the years, and he surprises me a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. And that's the thing we'll quickly find out about Megadeth is, once again, kind of like Slayer, I'm much more familiar with the albums I grew up with than some of the later ones that we'll get to.
Same here.
Yeah, I have to agree. Although there are a couple that I do really like, but we'll get to that.
Anything else you guys want to add about Killing Is My Business?
No. Very good start, but we're getting to some really good stuff now.
But they would get a lot better, I think.
Yes. And speaking of the good stuff and getting better, we have their second album, Peace Sells, but
there you go.
I love this record. This is one of their all-time best. This is the first CD I ever bought by them. I think it's still one of their greatest works. I freaking love this album. At the same lineup as the previous album, Chris Poland on guitar, Gar Sampson on drums, Ellefson on bass, of course, and of course Dave Mustaine on guitar and vocals. Great songs: "Wake Up Dead," "The Conjuring," the title track, "Devil's Island." All great songs. Just awesome. Of course, the cover artwork with Vic Rattlehead, the mascot, who's my second favorite metal mascot next to Eddie from Iron Maiden, of course.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden. Great album. It's fantastic. I have nothing bad to say about it. I think this was a huge improvement over their debut, and it's just a classic thrash metal masterpiece in every way. Friggin' love it.
And he said he won't play The Conjuring anymore.
Yeah, I know.
It's too much dark stuff in them.
It's kind of a downer. I love that song.
Yeah, I adore this album. It's one of my favorite thrash metal albums of all time. "Wake Up Dead" may very well be my favorite Megadeth song. I just think it has so many kick-ass riffs in it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually nothing bad to say. Kick-ass album.
But this is the one, I think, where they found the sound that who they are,
Yes.
like you were saying before.
I agree.
They nailed it here, you know. Much better, I think. Like, that's Megadeth, you know.
Yep. It's such a good album, and you know, I've always had this thing, even as a kid, seeing Megadeth's album covers always intrigued me. Like, they probably had some of my favorite album artwork. I'd always be looking at Vic Rattlehead, being like, "That's cool."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool character.
He's almost as cool as Eddie.
Yeah. It's almost kind of similar. You want to see the next Megadeth album cover to see what Vic's doing this time.
Well, unlike Iron Maiden, Vic's not always on the Megadeth covers. There's quite a few albums that don't have him.
Yeah.
Eddie's been on pretty much every single Iron Maiden recording.
I don't think Vic Rattlehead was on Euthanasia. I think that was just the lady.
No, he was on the cover of that.
Was he?
Wasn't he? Isn't he the one with the babies hanging on the clothesline or whatever?
I think that was an old lady, unless it was on the reissue. I have the original version. If it was on the remastered one, maybe, but he was on the back of it though.
Oh,
maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, it's some old lady. It was on the back.
Same thing with the Countdown Extinction. He's on the back or like on the inside. He's not
right. Yeah. He wasn't on Cryptic Writings or Risk either, but it was on their remastered version of Risk. He was on the reissue.
I don't think he was on Super Collider either. That was the colored thing.
The colored thing. That thing.
Yeah.
That sums up the album too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Vic not being on the cover is probably wasn't.
Even they couldn't even get Vic to be on that thing. He didn't want to be on it.
He didn't want to be on it, and I don't blame him.
He's embarrassed. I don't want to be on that thing.
Yeah, but we'll get to that in due time.
The next one's a good one.
The next one is a thrashterpiece.
Masterpiece. So far, so good. So what?
I actually really like.
So far, so good. So what?
I have always been intrigued with this album. I've always dug it, and I actually mixed it up. That's not the one I called a thrashterpiece. That's the next one after this one. But this album, I like.
One of my favorite songs, Hook and Mouth. I love that song.
Oh, yeah. And I love In My Darkest Hour. That's always been up top for me.
Yeah, that's a classic.
It's the only album featuring the lineup of Chris Poland and Gar Samuelson were gone. So this time we have Jeff Young on guitar and Chuck Beeler on drums. And, of course, Mustaine and Ellefson, like always. Or, well, like usual, anyway.
Yeah, and they were both gone by the next one.
Yeah, they're only on this one album. Yeah, I like this one, especially In My Darkest Hour. And their cover of Anarchy in the UK and Set the World Afire, Into the Lungs of Hell, Hook and Mouth. I don't like it quite as much as the previous album or the one after it, but it's still definitely a solid entry in their discography for sure. It's got some great tracks, and I do think it's very, very good.
Yeah, it's a solid one.
Yeah, I dig it a lot.
It's probably the first time in them that I really heard like the double bass and like the hook and mouth, so that like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it, but the next one definitely is the thrash masterpiece.
It's the ultimate.
Yes.
Rust
in Peace. Their best album. Thrash masterpiece. This is everybody's favorite Megadeth album.
So can we all agree this is the one?
Yeah. I love it. Great artwork, great songs. It was the first to feature my favorite Megadeth lineup by far, the great Marty Friedman on lead guitar and Nick Menza on drums. Marty Friedman's one of my favorite guitarists of all time, thrash metal or otherwise. He's the best guitarist they ever had by far. He was just phenomenal on the 6 strings. His riffs and solos are just miraculous. It blows me away every time. I wish he would have stayed with the band. And Nick Menza's drumming, rest in peace. He was great too. And of course, Dave Mustaine's songwriting, his guitar playing and singing, and was on point. David Ellson's bass playing, it was all great here. It was just a perfect storm of awesomeness. We got Holy Wars, Hangar 18, Taking Up Prisoners, 5 Magics, Tornado of Souls, Dawn Patrol, Rust in Peace, Polaris. Great, fantastic album. I friggin' love it.
Lucretia, that's another good one. Dawn Patrol. I love the bass on that.
Yeah. It's definitely a top 5 thrash albums for me. Very high up there.
Same here.
I mean, that 1-2 punch of Holy Wars and Hangar 18 is the ultimate for me. It's actually my favorite, 2 openers of an album that I can think of.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Believe it or not, Hangar 18 is my favorite metal song ever.
Love it.
Good choice. That's great.
It's been so long since I've seen the music video of that. I saw it on TV a long time ago. Yeah.
They used to play that on MTV all the time.
Yeah.
As soon as that, the breakdown in the middle kicks in, it's like the way it the intensity just amps up and amps up and amps up.
Yeah.
Dueling guitar solos, and it's it's insane. So awesome.
Man, I love Marty Friedman's playing so much. Oh, he's freaking phenomenal.
A lot of fun.
He's a real virtuoso.
Oh my gosh. I'd be happy if I was 1/16 as good as him.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun Megadeth songs to play on guitar.
Yeah, they are.
But they do have a lot of complex riffs and a lot of stretching, and they're very talented.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Especially on this album, right?
Yeah.
A lot of complex stuff there, like on Rust in Peace, Polaris.
Yeah, it's a classic in every way.
Yeah, every song's awesome. 5 magics.
Yep.
5 magics I have mastered.
Perfect front to back. You guys ready to talk about their 5th album?
Yes.
I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about this one. Countdown to Extinction.
I love it.
I love it too. I like this one a lot, actually. I think it's kind of underrated. I think that a lot of the albums that aren't either Peace Sells or Rust in Peace are kind of overlooked, I feel like. And this is no exception. I love Skin of My Teeth, Symphony of Destruction, one of my favorite guitar riffs ever. Yeah, man. Marty Friedman's, his riffs and solos are just breathtaking. Architecture of Aggression, Foreclosure of a Dream, Sweating Bullets, of course, is a classic. The title track, which I think is very, very awesome. I love that song.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite songs on the album. And Ashes in Your Mouth, Captive Honor, great album. I don't know why people don't like this one quite as much, but
Psychotron, Colin, Psychotron.
Yeah. Yeah, Psychotron. High Speed.
Love it.
Yeah, this is a really good one. And I guess this is their first album that didn't have Vic Rattlehead on the cover. Yeah. He's hidden in there somewhere, but still a great album nonetheless. Yeah, he's in the inside of it.
Who remembers that music video? Hello, me. Meet the real
me. My Misfits.
Come on, that's a classic. Sweating Bullets.
They played that on MTV a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It got pretty regular rotation there.
Yeah.
That's what sucks because it came out just before the Black Album, and then
Yeah.
once the Black Album
Yeah.
came, it just knocked it right out of there.
Yeah,
Like,
and then everybody
damn
forgot about Countdown to Extinction. I like Countdown to Extinction way better than the Black Album, actually.
it. Me
Yeah,
too.
and I believe that almost got like #1 on the charts, but Achy Breaky Heart beat it out. Like one.
Wow. Drum Smash 88 is in the chat. How's it going, Drew, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yo. Anything else anybody wants to add about Countdown to Extinction?
Very underrated. Give it a listen.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I'll say I think some things people might have a problem with that it's so maybe people might think it's too polished as opposed to the previous albums. And it's more mid-tempo. Every song is like mid-tempo. It's not like fast like Rust in Peace.
Yeah, true. That's probably
I
it.
don't know.
It's kind of like
I
the people that wanted South of Heaven to be another Rain in Blood. You know, they didn't want to give it a chance. You know, they said this isn't Rain in Blood. You know, I don't like this. So with Countdown to Extinction, this isn't Rust in Peace.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes metalheads can be kind of shallow, but
That's
whatever. I love it.
Yeah, it's
so
a different album with a different sound. Is this?
Yep. And speaking of underrated, I don't give a damn what anybody says. I freaking love Euthanasia. I do not care. I do not care what anybody says. I love this album. I think it's very underrated. It sickens me how underrated. I know it's a little more. It's not quite as heavy as their previous one. It's a little more melodic and musical and maybe commercial sounding or whatever. I don't care. I think it sounds awesome. It has Marty Friedman and Nick Menzel once again, and they're top notch. We got Reckoning Day, the opening track. I love Reckoning Day. I love that riff. I love the lyrics. I love Train of Consequences. I love Addicted to Chaos. And this is the one with the Toot Le Monde on it. That's a staple of their live set. It's got a Toot Le Monde. People say, people think this album crap. It's got a Toot Le Monde on it. Come on. And Elysian Fields, I think it's a very underrated song. I love Elysian Fields. I love that part of the chorus, the harmonizing, the choir. I love that part. And
I think
Road.
I think it's a great underrated song.
Yeah, it is. I think this is a great album, front to back. And I don't understand why it gets so much crap.
Yeah.
I think it's way better than everybody says. I love it. It's not as good as Peace Sells or Rust in Peace, but I think it's damn good nonetheless. And I listen to it constantly.
Yeah, Toot Le Monde has one of my personal favorite guitar solos.
Yes.
Whether it's the first solo or the dual guitar solo. I just love it.
Beautiful solo.
It's a very haunting kind of song.
It is. It is. It's great.
Definitely a top album for me.
It's a good follow-up to Countdown, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's almost like continuing that style.
Definitely.
And you got the same lineup too, so
yeah, my favorite lineup.
I think at this point is when some people would start to be kind of like, they're getting to the point now.
Maybe they're trying to make more commercially accessible songs. On the next one, I think people will probably say cryptic writings.
Cryptic writings.
So many people consider this the Black Album. This is to Megadeth what the Black Album is to Metallica. Guess what? Much like Euthanasia, I also don't care what anybody says because I really like this album. I don't care. Yeah, it's more commercial sounding. Yeah, it's more radio friendly. Blah, blah, blah. I do not care. It's not as heavy. It's more melodic. And I think it's awesome. I love the song Trust. I love that guitar solo. I like the lyrics. It was one of the first Megadeth songs I ever heard.
But Trust is a great song.
Yeah, it's great. And I like Almost Honest. Use the Man. I think there's a lot of great songs on this.
She-Wolf.
It's not quite as good as what came before, but I still really, really like it, you know? I like this way better than the Black Album, actually. And this is kind of like their, like their really commercial. They're switched to a more radio friendly style, but I don't care. I think it's still really good. But yeah, She Wolf is a great song. 1-2 pointed that out in the chat. yeah, I really, really like this. I think it's underrated too. It's not Rust in Peace, but I didn't want it to be. I didn't expect it to be Rust in Peace.
I definitely listened to that like more than the Black Album. And that's not me being a Black Album hater because it's commercial. It's just I've heard so many of those songs so many times.
Yes.
I don't really care if I hear them again.
Neither. They've lost all meaning. I've heard them ad nauseum. I've heard Clinton's writings a lot too, but I'm not sick to death of it like I am of Inner Sandman and Sad But True and Unforgiven. Yeah. I'd much rather listen to Trust than I would Inner Sandman. I really like Cryptic Writings. I don't care, I all the elitist metalheads give it a lot of crap, but I don't care. Maybe it's not their most metal album, but whatever, it's still a good album. The songs are still really good. Nick Minza and Marty Friedman are still on point,
It's still good. It is.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a great album, and I know which one is next too.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of changing.
Now it's going to go downhill a little bit. I'm, of course, talking about Risk. Yeah, sorry to say, I just defended 3 albums in a row. I
can't defend this one. Crush them.
Yeah,
Crush them.
If Cryptic
All I have to say.
If Cryptic Writings is the Black Album, this might possibly be the Saint Anger of Megadeth's albums, or at least the Reload. I don't care for this one a lot, to put it nicely. This is probably my least favorite Megadeth album. And it's sad because this one also had Marty Friedman. So I don't know what went wrong exactly. Risk is a good title for it because he definitely took a risk, although didn't really. Unfortunately, it didn't really
pay off.
It didn't pay off.
That's one of the Megadeth albums that I heard once, said not for me, and didn't listen to again.
Yep, me too.
Same here.
Nick Minza left and was replaced by Jimmy DeGrasso on drums, which it's not bad, but Nick Minza I think was a lot better in my opinion. And this album has its moments. There's a few decent tracks that I kind of like, but overall I think it's just really forgettable, and they could do a lot better. They could do a lot better than this right here.
Yeah.
That's the low point in their career. Well,
I don't know what it is about Dave. Sometimes he just likes to try some pop stuff. He loves pop music, I think, and I think sometimes he tries to make a pop album.
That's the thing. I respect Dave for wanting to change it up a bit. You don't want to sound the same every time. People just gonna be like, change it up a little, but sometimes it doesn't always work out.
Yeah, I admire artists wanting to branch out and change their style a little bit and keep things fresh instead of just pumping out the same material over and over. But Risk just doesn't really do it for me. Somebody out there probably likes it, and that's fine. But it just doesn't really appeal to me personally. And the thing is, I like Cryptic Writings, so it's not like I want every single album to be Rust in Peace. Cryptic Writings is nothing like Rust in Peace, but Risk is a little too different, And
it wasn't well received either.
Oh yeah, it's just not for me. But maybe I'll give it another spin someday. It's been a long time since I listened to it. Maybe it'll grow on me. Who knows? But as of now, I think it's pretty disappointing.
Curious what you think of the next one.
Well, the next one was their first without Marty Friedman. Jimmy DeGrasso returned behind the drum kit, and this is the first one, and I think the only one with Al Pitrelli, if I'm not mistaken. World Needs a Hero. Now, I do think this is definitely a step up from Risk. I think this is a lot better than Risk, and I really like the song. Moto Psycho is an okay song. I really like the song Burning Bridges. That's actually one of my favorite Megadeth songs. I think it's underrated. Burning Bridges is an excellent song. I think he tried to recapture some of the magic from Rust in Peace with the song Return to Hangar, which I guess is like kind of a
they
sequel.
Tried on that.
Yeah. But other than Moto Psycho and Burning Bridges, which I think are 2 great songs, especially the latter, this is still one of the weaker.
You don't like Dread in the Fugitive Mind?
Yeah, that's a decent track.
It's been so long since I've heard that album, but
me too. I don't remember a lot about it.
I think a few of the songs that stuck out were stuff like 1,000 Times Goodbye or When, Disconnect, stuff like that. But overall, Step Up, but still, it's
Rattle
still
Just
not.
they're trying to get back. I love the cover. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vic Rattlehead came back finally after being absent for a few albums.
It's definitely not unlistenable. You know, it's not one of those.
Yeah.
The only song I listen to over and over is "Burning Bridges." That's a great song. I've got that on my metal playlist on my Spotify, and I listen to it over and over and over. And Motosec is a pretty good song, and there's still a few other decent tracks. But overall, it's better than Risk, but it's still like not one of my favorite albums.
Yeah, and I think
before Risk.
With this next one, there's actually kind of a step up, and I guess we'll see when we get to it.
Even though this is the last, even though that was the last one with Dave Ellefson for a while.
Yeah. Before he came back and then left again, of course.
First time he got kicked out.
Yeah, and this was actually originally supposed to be a Dave Mustaine solo album, but he decided to use the Megadeth name, and it also features the return of Chris Poland on guitar, who we haven't seen since the first two albums, which is pretty cool. And I can't remember who the other members were. They were just session members. They weren't like actually part of the band, I guess.
But he didn't tour with them though.
Right? Yeah, he didn't. He just played on this. He has Jimmy LaSlows on bass guitar. Yeah, first album without David Ellefson on bass, which is a bummer. Vinny Colaiuta on drums, I guess. I don't know. I think there's a few other additional musicians. I think there's like different musicians in some of the other songs too. I don't even know. It was supposed to be a Dave Mustaine solo record, and yeah, I actually like this better than Risk and The World Needs to Hear. I think this is pretty good. I remember this when it first came out. I bought this when it first came out, and I like Blackmail the Universe, Die Dead Enough, Kick the Chair, The Scorpion, which I think is an excellent song.
Yep.
I think it's about Dave Mustaine's heroin addiction, dealing with being addicted. I'm pretty sure that's what it's about. That's a really good song. Shoot my venom in, or whatever it says. That's a really good song. And there's another song I really like on here. I think it might be Of Mice and Men.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah. There's quite a few good songs on here, but my favorite is definitely The Scorpion. Not a bad album at all. I think it's kind of a return to form in some ways, and way better than Risk, and better than World Needs a Hero too. But it is a bummer that David Ellefson
step up, yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, that's cool because for me personally, these next 2-3 albums, they kind of each start stepping up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
The System Has Failed ain't a bad album. I think it's better than the other.
Yeah, I think it's decent. I think it's better than it's better than people give it credit for. It's not as good as their early work, but I think it's better than some of their like late '90s recordings.
Yeah,
I think it sounds too much like Megadeth to be a solo Dave.
Yeah, it does definitely.
Dave Mustaine.
Well, he ended up doing another solo thing, MD45 or whatever, and I guess that was kind of more like a solo album, I guess, than this was. But but it's called Megadeth and it has Vic Rattlehead on the cover, so
yeah,
it sounds like Megadeth. So maybe Risk should have been a solo album.
Yeah, maybe that should have been.
And their next one, their 11th studio album, which seems to be kind of forgotten. People don't talk about this one a lot, which is weird. And that's United Abominations. I bought this when it first came out too, and I really liked it. It features a kind of more human-looking Vic Rattlehead with some. He actually has skin and flesh this time.
It's a pretty cool cover. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an awesome cover. It's a good song. Sleepwalker is a good song. I like the title track, Gears of War. And it's got another version of a Tout Le Monde, this time with Christina Scabbia from Lacuna Coil doing guest vocals, which is cool. I really dig this one. I like it probably just as much as System Has Failed. I think they're kind of tied for me. I think they're both just as good. And I dig this one. I think it's pretty good.
Washington is next.
That's a good song.
A lot of good songs.
Never Walk Alone.
Blessed Are the Dead. I like that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Play for Blood's pretty good.
Not too bad.
I remember this first came out, and I remember And yeah, like it wasn't talked about much then, and it's still not really talked about much now. It seems to be kind of like I don't know, one of their more overlooked ones, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I like it a
What
lot.
was that one song called? It was Never Walk Alone something. Never Walk Alone.
Oh yeah, Never Walk Alone, A Call to Arms.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a decent track. Yeah, I like United Abominations. I think it's pretty cool.
Yep.
And that's actually the last CD I owned by them. I don't have the next. How many more did they do? 3, 4.
Well, the
I think
next
they did 4 more, right? I don't have.
Yeah.
I don't have
4
the
more.
next 4.
Endgame 13, Super Collider, and
Dystopia. And they got a new one coming out soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, Endgame, which is their 12th album, I thought was pretty good.
I like it.
I liked it a lot, actually.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't own it, so I haven't listened to it a whole lot. But from what I remember, I haven't listened to it in a while. But I remember liking it quite a bit.
Yeah. There's a lot of really good songs on there, like Bite the Hand, Bodies, How the Story Ends. Just a lot of really good.
Head Crusher.
Head Crusher, yeah, Head Crusher. And what's that one? What's the
Dialectic Chaos.
Chaos? Yeah, that was the first track, I think. And then This Day We Fight, or This Day We Battle, or
Yeah.
This Day We Fight, I think. That's a pretty good song.
Yeah.
How the Story Ends. The Right to Go Insane, I think. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good album. I actually liked it quite a bit. I
It's
do need to
honest,
buy that one. I think it's pretty good.
It's actually my favorite, probably since Cryptic Writings.
Yeah,
It's almost like a return to thrash, like it sounded thrashy,
Yeah, I think a lot of the thrash metal bands kind of went back to their roots around that time, kind of the mid.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Or whatever, or the late 2000s. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I really liked Endgame. As for the next one, say what?
13 is the next one, right?
Yeah, 13. The 13th album, obviously. It's okay. I remember liking Endgame better. I don't own 13 either, so I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember I didn't like it as much as Endgame. I remember there being like at least 2 pretty good tracks on it. I already forgot what they were though.
Sudden Death, Public Enemy #1.
Yeah.
Yep.
And,
New World
We the People, I think. New World Order.
Black Swan. Wrecker.
Yep. Millennium of the Blind. Deadly Nightshade. Yeah, it's all right. Again, I don't remember a whole lot about it. I listened to it maybe twice, and it's okay.
It was disappointing for me. It was a step down again for me.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as Endgame.
I felt like Endgame, they were getting back to
it's like
real thrash, and then
they got really good, and then they just kind of went back down.
Yeah,
better than Risk, but
yeah,
it's not saying a lot.
This next
album again, but yeah, I don't remember it being that great.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But this is the one they got Dave Ellefson back, but
yeah,
wasn't enough to.
Sadly, no. And so next we have Super Collider. Oh man,
Something smells.
Yeah. Oh god, somebody open a window.
This is another one I heard once. Didn't listen to it again.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to it again. I heard it once as well, and boy, was I let down. I was like, holy crap. This one might actually give Risk a run for its money in some ways. Wow.
What was he thinking? What was he thinking?
What the hell was that? That was not very good,
No.
I know the album has its fans, which, I don't mean any disrespect, but I did not care for it at all. Yeah, it was just not for me. Yeah, even the cover art was stupid. It didn't seem like a Megadeth album. I don't even know what it was. I don't even know how to describe it. Both thumbs down. I did not like it. It might be my least favorite, actually.
Yeah, I saw the music video for Super Collider when it came out, and I was like, I was out of it. Like, what the hell?
Like, what the hell is this? Is this a joke?
Yeah, I'd rather listen to Crush 'Em.
Yeah. Maybe that's the Saint Anger of Megadeth. Or the Lulu.
Yeah.
Lulu.
Yeah, I don't like Super Collider at all. I think it's pretty much crap. That's one album that I can't think of too many good things to say about it.
That's him trying to go pop again, like make a pop album.
Yeah. So yeah, the less said about that one, the better.
You should save that for solo stuff if he wants to do something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That different.
Yeah, exactly. I was excited that Erschen returned, but boy, was it disappointing.
Nope.
And finally, we have their most recent album, Dystopia, their 15th album, I guess.
Yep.
It was better than Super Collider, which isn't saying much. And I think I liked it better than 13 as well.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I don't think it was as good as Endgame or a couple of the ones that came before. But it's kind of mid-range, I guess.
It's pretty heavy though. Like
yeah, it was. It was a lot heavier. It's a big step up from Super Collider.
Yeah,
there's some great tracks on it. There's a lot of really good songs on it. You know, I feel like there's a great album hidden in there somewhere.
Yeah,
it could have been a little better, but again, not bad. You know, it's you know, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
they had Chris Adler on drums.
What's that?
So they had Chris Adler on drums.
From Lamb of God, yeah. And Kiko Lariro on guitar.
Yeah.
Guerrero. And yeah, David Ellefson returned once again, just like before, and sadly for the last time, I guess. But yeah, Dystopia, not too bad. Not one of
their songs I like. I like The Threat Is Real, Fatal Illusion.
Yeah, I like the title track, Death from Within, Poisonous Shadows. It's a step in the right direction, I would say. And if they continue in this path, I look forward to hearing more. I think they can definitely.
Yeah, and you know, they also got a ton of live albums, compilation albums. They got a Hidden Treasures album, which was a lot of good songs that were on movies like Last Action Hero with Anger Again.
Right.
Yeah,
great song.
They're on the soundtrack of Demon Knight as well.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
Go to Hell.
Yeah.
Go to Hell is a great song. I've always loved it.
Yeah, it is.
It's heavy too.
Yeah.
Cool video too with the devil.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of cool stuff in that video. Like that one thing he says, like, my best friend is a goat 666 between his horns or something.
Yeah.
And of course,
he's like singing underwater and shit.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of the things they did, people had to compare to Metallica. Like they had the "Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep" thing in there too.
If you read his autobiography, Mustaine said he was like freaked out about that. He was like, "Holy crap!" He was like, "How did that happen?" He was like, He's like, "I swear I didn't steal from them." And
yeah,
and he was like, "Did they steal from me?"
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
That is weird. Some of Metallica's best songs were written by Dave Mustaine, you know. So it'd been interesting to see what would happen if he stayed in the band a little longer. Of course, we wouldn't have Megadeth, but
I think about that sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, what would have happened?
Yeah, would have been interesting.
Maybe they would have been better. Maybe they would have been worse. I don't know.
Yeah, you never
know. I think it just would have been weird at the time saying like, "Oh yeah, Hangar 18 is Metallica's best song." I feel like it would be weird saying that.
Yeah.
would they have still would have been Metallica rest in peace? So that
Yeah.
who knows? It's interesting to think about though.
Yeah, it is.
But then I'm kind of glad in a way because it's like then we wouldn't have Megadeth, you know?
Yeah. Instead of one great band, we have two great bands.
Right. And Megadeth's a very different sounding band. They don't sound anything like Metallica.
Yeah.
I
I've
think
never
I've
I've never
really
really
their roots a little more for the most part.
Yeah, I've never really been into that. Who's Metallica versus Megadeth? I'm just like, they're both great bands. They both got their own sounds. Just
Right.
enjoy both.
Exactly. It's
I think I
more
like
love.
Metallica's first three. The first three Metallica albums, I think, are better than anything Megadeth's done, except maybe Rest in Peace and Peace Sells, which are probably on the same level. But I like kind of Megadeth's later stuff more than Metallica's later stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Except for Risk and Super Collider.
Yeah. I have to agree, but I think Russ is on the level of anything they've done.
Oh yeah. Rest in Peace is definitely on the level of Metallica's first three.
But that's a 5-star classic to me.
Easily.
Yep.
All right, anything else you guys want to add about Megadeth? It's a bummer that David Ellefson's out again. I don't really know what happened. I read some of the story. I don't know who to believe. I really don't know.
Yeah, that was something I didn't really check in on.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a real shame.
It really is. It really, really is. Because I was supposed to go see
them. Off.
Yeah, it really sucks. Because now, I like when a band has at least two constant sole founding members. So they just have one remaining member. It just feels like might as well just be like a solo project or whatever.
I know. It's not the same,
Yeah, exactly.
At least it's more It's more credible if you at least have two.
Yeah, I agree. It feels more like a band, And David Ellefson was on all their, all their best albums, and
yeah,
and he was a founding member, and
when we've had such a revolving door of musicians, at least you had that constant.
Yeah, the two constants, you
could change the guitarists like the change in the weather, but
yeah, it goes through bandmates like I changed my clothes. So.
Yeah, same thing with like Jeff Waters' Annihilator. It's like a new lineup every album, and it's like, who is it now?
Annihilator. Yeah, he says a different singer and different different everybody every time. Same with Iced Earth too. He always has a revolving door lineup of musicians. It's always just John Schaefer and whoever he could find to record and tour with him.
Yeah. I still say Matt Barlow was the voice of Iced Earth, though.
Yes, Matt Barlow is my favorite Iced Earth vocalist, and I like Tim Owens a lot too. Yeah. And the second guy they had, John Greeley, he was pretty good too, and as well as Stu Block. And I can't remember who the newest guy they have is. Their first singer, Gene Adam, wasn't that great. It kind of sounded like Dave Mustaine a little bit, actually.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think Mustaine is.
Uh-oh, did we lose him?
Oh boy.
We lost the host. Wow, we sure covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I think it was a good show.
Man.
Definitely.
John Carpenter, you got the whole Megadeth. Evil Dead. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, I like the idea of picking a few main horror topics and then discussing a band's discography. We should do that every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Different band every time, then like a different main horror franchise, then maybe like a couple other horror-related discussions as well. Yeah. I think it's a good idea. Get the best of both worlds.
What'd you think of Dave Mustaine's book?
Mustaine, a heavy metal memoir.
Yeah,
I love it. It's one of the best autobiographies I ever read. I feel like I really got to know him. I feel like I was, when you read it, you feel like you're having a conversation with him. You get to read the whole thing from his point of view. I love reading about his time in Metallica and then the recording of Rust in Peace. When he first met Marty Friedman and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff in there.
Yeah, it's a great book. It's right up there with Ozzy's autobiography.
I couldn't help but laugh when he kind of, I mean, he's such a controversial guy. Speaks his mind.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit.
No.
You know?
Yeah, he talked bad about quite a few of his former bandmates, and really didn't
kind of admire that in a way. But then
me too. Yeah, he's very honest.
Went there.
He's brutally honest.
Like, how about when he says, even Dave Ellefson, he says when he talks about bass, he's like, it's a step above the kazoo. It's not a real instrument. I'm like, wow.
Good Lord.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very opinionated.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have worked in Metallica because I think it would have been too many egos. There's no way.
Yeah.
Dave Mustaine and Lars Ulrich can be in the same band. They're just not going to work.
Even the three of them.
Yeah.
Because even James Hetfield has an ego. He's not.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. When that came out, Some Kind of Monster, Metallica.
Yeah.
And they interviewed Dave with Lars. That whole thing, Lars was just like,
yeah.
Interesting movie.
Yeah. It was weird because when it first came out, I was like, oh, cool. They're making a movie about Metallica. I bet they're going to talk about their whole history of the band and how they formed and stuff. And then it's a movie about the making of their worst album and one of the worst albums in the history of metal. And I was just like, man, really?
And it's like, why is this metal band going to group therapy and shit?
Yeah, I was like, good Lord.
I don't want to see Lars screaming at people in their face like, oh!
Throwing tantrums and stuff.
It's kind of funny though when they start going at it. You're being such a dick right now. James just smashes the door. He gets right in his face. I'm like, I would have punched him if he was like that.
I would not act like that if I was being filmed. If I was on camera,
would have knocked him out right there.
Yeah, I would have too.
Yeah, that was a dark time in Metallica.
Big time.
Yeah. What do you think about what Mustaine says there? Is like, expected me to be so happy being number 2, always being number 2.
It wouldn't be that bad. I'd be perfectly content.
And he's like, Megadeth's a great band. What are you so?
Yeah. It's weird. I'd just be happy that I made it again. It's not like Paul Di'Anno where he was kicked out of Iron Maiden and then never really did anything quite as big as them. Megadeth is almost just as big as Metallica.
Yep.
Still a huge band and a great band, and a lot of people prefer them to Metallica. I like modern Megadeth better than I do modern Metallica. So, for the most
it's
part,
like his anger against them made something so positive and so great.
True. Yeah, exactly. It's a big part of their sound.
Yeah, I think I know Metallica said they're coming out with a new album, and all I could think was, what, another 10 years? But their last album wasn't bad. I think it was good. I thought it was pretty cool that they had music videos for every song. And now, of course, the one music video that threw me off, because I am a Mayhem fan, was the Man Unkind music video. I'm like, the hell? It looks like Dead. It looks like Euronymous. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Cool. All right, guys, you ready to go and wrap up? Anything else anybody wants to add, and any closing thoughts or anything? I think it was a great show.
Definitely.
Another great show, man.
Really looking forward to our next one, which
Oh yes.
Yes,
reveal
gonna have to
details
talk about that
when-
more. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll reveal the full info about that when it gets closer to that time. I'm really pumped for that.
Me too. It's gonna be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us here on the Horror Metal channel. This has been the Morbid Hour, episode 3. Hellhound, Sean Erschen, and Horror Fan 88.
Thank
Until
you,
next time.
guys. Peace out.
Thanks for joining me. Later.
Alrighty.